Hello everybody and welcome back once more to the Shonen Showdown, brought to you by Anime Yay or Nay. I'm TheOutbackAl. I'm still trying to figure out what to do with this intro.
I'm Hot for Justice.
I'm Yin&Jung.
I'm Chibi Noob.
And I'm NV Jitters.
And we're back once again. We're in the second round of the Shonen Showdown. Last week's winner, One Piece, will be going on to the, I guess it's the quarterfinals. I guess we could call it. It'll be 8 people 8 shows, not people. They're people. They're not people. I don't know. We could consider them people depending on how attached we are. But yeah, One Piece is going into the quarterfinals, where we will be watching 4 through 6 of the shows that win the first initial beatdown. I don't know. So, just letting you know, we're not solely judging everything based on 3 episodes. Some of them will be based on more, and some will not. But let's get down to our actual fight for the day. Today we had Jujutsu Kaisen versus Hunter times Hunter, Hunter x Hunter, Hunter by Hunter, Hunter squared. There's a number of different ways because everyone seems to say it different.
Oh my god.
We'll be calling it Hunter x Hunter for today, I think. Unless someone else says something else. So I'm not going to judge. Anyway, first up, let's talk Jujutsu Kaisen. So this is a little bit of more of a newer anime. When did this come out?
Literally came out last year.
Yeah. The dub, at least as of this recording, the dub is not done yet. Actually, I think what do they have, like 8 or 9?
I think they have 7 or 8.
Well, the anime is not even finished yet. It's a 2-core anime, so
I'm just saying, like we are watching dubs for everything. So, but like it's so new that it's not fully in English yet. So, Jujutsu Kaisen is about a kid named Yuji who goes to high school and is very physically gifted, but I think he's just one of those kids who just doesn't really find a lot of challenge in the fact that he's really good at something. So he's part of the occult club who they don't really know what they're doing either. So no one really knows what they're doing at first in this anime. But anyway, they find a cursed object that, of course, they're the occult club. They're gonna play around with. Meanwhile, Yuji's grandfather tells him, "Hey, live a life worth living, so you don't die alone like me." And then he dies. And yeah, then some Sasuke-looking dude shows up, and he's looking for the evil energy coming off that cursed object. He finds it on Yuji, and Yuji's like, "Oh, I gave it to my friends." So he goes to try to find the friends, because he's like, they're gonna die, because that thing is cursed and full of evil energy. It's making evil spirits around them, gonna kill stuff. And they go back to the school. They find that the occult club is now being eaten by ghosts. They fight the evil ghost creature.
They're not ghosts, per se.
Ghost spirit.
Curses.
What is it? Curse.
Curses.
Okay. Well, yeah. So they fight the curse. They realize, hey, they're trying to eat this cursed object, which is a finger from some demon lord. And they're like, if they eat it, they'll gain a lot of demonic power. And so Yuji's solution is, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to eat the finger myself. I'll have demonic power and I'll beat up the curse. Which he does. Which was stupid of him. Then a Kakashi-looking guy shows up.
Yep.
They knock him out, bring him to a school, and he starts working with them and their organization to stop curses from killing people. And that's Jujutsu Kaisen. Without going
there's
into
also
a ton
one
of
big
spoilers.
twist with that too.
Yeah, he's gonna die.
Yeah.
Yeah, since he
Either
ate
way,
he ate the cursed finger, and his body is being semi-possessed by the demon lord who it belonged to.
Sukuna.
But he's still in control. So they're like, well, the only way to destroy the curse would be to kill you. We could do that now, or you could eat all of his other fingers, absorb all of the curse, and then we could kill you. And he's like, I'll opt for number 2. As most of us, I would hope, would.
Lesser of 2 evils.
Yeah. So let's start this off. Let me bring up my little checklist of notes. I was thinking this time around that we would kind of like... I know we're kind of like bouncing... Last time we were bouncing around a little bit. I might go... sort of in a round table kind of thing, like we have an order in which maybe we speak, and like I can go first, and then like whoever comes after me will go first in the next category, kind of thing. Maybe just like the order that we like introduce ourselves every day.
That works.
Okay.
So each round we're speaking in that order.
So yeah, so like Gav always like says Hot for Justice after AutbackAl, right? So Gav will be I'm doing plot first, and then Gav will start characters. We'll go around with everyone, but
Why don't we just do it the same way each round?
You know what? Forget it. Because I didn't want to lead.
Oh, okay. Then it's okay. We'll do it your way then. If you don't want to be
I wanted to
first.
give other people the chance to go first with stuff. I feel like I talk too much.
Oh.
No one's speaking up. You all know it's true. So, plot of Jujutsu Kaisen. I just kind of went over it. I'll just say I'm a yay on it. I thought it was interesting. I think I won't talk about the characters yet, but like overall, we're kind of setting up just this story. It's a very clear journey that we're going to be going on. Fighting curses, finding fingers, eating fingers, getting stronger from that, and it's basic, but I feel like it's a good framework for what's going to come later in the series, hopefully, because I've only watched 3 episodes. I don't know for sure, but I was happy with it. Gav?
I liked it. I liked it so much I was watching TikToks of it.
Goodness, I'm
That's
not that
the true
desperate.
sign of you liking something. Memes.
Yeah, but I sent that one in the group chat, and it was funny. But anyway,
That was good.
Wait, I don't think I saw that
You
one.
didn't watch it? That was pretty good.
Okay, I'll look at it later. In the middle of something.
I liked it though. Yeah, it was good. I'd give it a yay.
Okay.
Am I next?
Well, how do we normally... I'm the Outback Al, Hot for
Yeah,
Justice.
I think it's me. It's me. Okay, yeah.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, I really like the plot of this one. Kind of like what Al said. Like, it could be seen as kind of basic. It's sort of, I don't know, reminds me of a lot of other animes where, they go to a school, like Naruto and stuff like that, and learn about magical whatever. But at the same time, I think it was a really good setup, and even though it can be basic, I think it did enough to set itself apart. I liked the horror aspects of it. It had some body horror and some more, I don't know, like a different kind of style. It wasn't exactly fantastical or like ninjas or anything. It was a little bit more leaning towards the horror aspect. So I think the tone and the plot overall I did really like. I've read the whole manga, so I'm a little bit biased because I know more of the plot that happens later, but even just like judging by the first 3 episodes, I think it set it up really well, so I would definitely give it a yay in terms of the plot.
Okay. So my turn. I'm a yay. Big surprise. So I actually found this like really engaging, and it basically, the story just sort of starts episode 1 right off the bat. So for me, that really works well because it went right into the plot. And like, it's got that tradition. It's got like the the shonen formula where there's this kid. He's got like special abilities, and he's going on like a quest to find magic artifacts or whatever, or reach some goal to meet an end. And honestly, like, I just thought it was a real interesting premise. The whole cursed objects and curses thing, that's a bit different than stuff that I'm used to seeing. Also, I'm someone who really likes a lot of more paranormal elements for the media that I consume. So I will say that this is something that was definitely right up my alley. So that's what I got to say about it.
Yeah,
Now for the contrarian.
No, I'm not gonna do a fairy tale. No,
He hated it.
Hey, you can like and hate whatever you want, Envy.
no, but piggybacking off of what Chibi was saying, yeah, I like how obviously this isn't the first anime to be based on curses, but I don't think there's too many shonen that are strictly based on curses. Not that I can top of my head, at least where that's the main focus. And yeah, the premise did interest me when I was watching this, and I'll certainly talk more about like the characters and stuff going forward, but for the setup, yeah, I'm a yay.
Cool. So it looks like an overall yay
Yeah.
for for plot. Moving right on into character. Gav, you wanna start us off on this?
Sure, if I can remember the characters' names.
I was having a little bit of trouble too because it's a little newer for me. Because this is another one of those ones where I haven't seen either of these going in.
I mean, I can name the characters.
Yeah,
All of them?
I know.
Well, you read everything.
Okay, that's fair.
I mean, I don't know. I just kind of got really invested, so I
You
was
learned
like
them all.
paying attention.
I was paying attention too. It's just been a couple days.
The
And-
I
main
just watched it
character's
last
name
night.
is Itadori, and then
Yeah.
the Sasuke guy is Fushiguro.
Yeah. It's just because, like, they kept using both their first names and their last names, like, for them,
Yeah.
depending on who was talking. So I was like, which one do I remember?
We can make it easier if you want. We can call them Pinky,
Oh my
White,
God.
Black, and Girl.
Wait, is White Gojo?
Is
Yeah.
that the teacher?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going by hair color, and
Yeah, all right.
I guess
And the girl's
genitals.
just the girl. Wow.
Okay. All right. I guess
I'm really
not
hoping that
tech-
didn't sound bad when I was explaining
that
that.
sounded bad.
I'm sorry.
Gender would be more correct.
Yeah. That'd be more appropriate.
Okay.
Well, her name is Nobara.
Okay.
Mhm.
There you go.
What's the black haired guy?
He's Megumi
Megumi.
or Fushiguro.
Oh God, I get where you're coming from now.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, let's just
Um,
call him Megumi then. It's easier to say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Megumi. All right. So I really liked Yuji Itadori. He was cool. Like, he was carefree and easygoing and, like, for the most part, and I like that in a character. So yeah, he was a good protagonist. I liked Megumi because he was, like, typical angsty, like, you know, second-hand man, I guess. Like a Sasuke.
I did call
I
him
say-
Sasuke, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
Yes,
Yeah.
you did.
But he was cool. I liked him. I also really liked the teacher because the teacher was fun. The Gojo or whatever his name is. But yeah, he
Yeah,
was cool.
that's right.
Oh, now I'm gonna make so many GI Joe references.
But he was cool. And yeah, I also, the girl was pretty interesting. At first I wasn't sure I was gonna like her because she was acting kind of like a brat, but then Nobara, I think her name is, yeah. But then she was like, as you learn more about her, and I guess like episode 3, that I was like, oh, she's pretty interesting. Yeah, I like her too. So I liked all the characters, so I'd give the characters a yay.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
You're next.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
We'll
love
figure
it.
out this order at some point.
So it still just goes down the line. It just starts with a.
Yeah, it just starts
Oh,
with
okay.
a different person.
I really love the characters in this one. They kind of can seem like they fit into the Naruto mold a little bit, but you know how we were calling them like Sasuke and Kakashi and stuff.
Yes,
But I
I
think
do know that.
yeah, but I think that they are set apart enough that they don't just feel like ripoffs. Like Megumi has a bit of the same attitude as Sasuke, but not exactly. He doesn't feel as angsty as Sasuke, and there's not really a rivalry between him and Yuji per se.
Yet.
And I don't think there really ever
Okay,
is.
don't spoil it. For me. I'm just. Let me
Okay,
go.
I'm sorry. Either way, I like all the characters individually, kind of like what Gav was saying. I think Yuji makes for a good protagonist. I like his motivations. I like that he's not just trying to be the bestest sorcerer or anything, which is often what you see with shonen protagonists, which works a lot of the time, but it's nice to see something else. You know, he knows that he's gonna die, but he's still trying to, like, do something anyway because he feels a responsibility to people. And he doesn't want to just die alone. He wants to make relationships with these people, at least before he dies. So I like that about him. I think he's pretty awesome. And then I like Megumi and Nobara both. I was kind of with Gav that at first I wasn't sure about Nobara, at least when I was reading it at first. I kind of already knew how she acts. But I think they fleshed her out well enough that she didn't just feel like the girl or whatever. And they kind of even made a joke about that a little bit. I thought she was pretty funny. Like, her interactions with Itadori were good. And that's one of the things that I really think is strong is the characters' interactions with each other. Like, they all have good chemistry with each other. So it's not just them separately, but I think them together really works. So I liked them all, really. And Gojo's awesome.
Just a yay.
That's a yay. It's obviously
No,
a
it's
yay.
a nay.
Gushing a little bit.
Oh, they're so great. I fucking hate it.
Right.
Chibi.
Okay, so I'm a yay for the characters. Itadori was, he's your protagonist, but he's not, as everyone has been saying, your typical protagonist, because like he's not, I'm gonna be the best. He's like, oh, I'm gonna do my best because I need to, like, help these people. And also, I kind of already got myself into this mess in the first place by eating that finger. So,
how many of us could say that? I mean, it's such a commonplace thing.
And also, it was, like, him and his dynamic, sort of, like, him who's also Sukuna, who is, like, the demon lord for the cursed finger that he ate. That is also an interesting character because it shows like just like what exactly he's dealing with, like going on inside him, even though he's able to control it very well. But I have a feeling like Sukuna's probably going to be a very big antagonist coming down the line, as far as like characters we've already been introduced to. I really like Megumi. He's definitely sort of more of the not laid back, more of the like cool sort of like character. But I have a feeling he's definitely going to be, a character who's definitely going to warm up to his other teammates as it goes along. And then Nobara, I wasn't really sure about how I would feel about her like at first. But I do like her, and I like her weapon set, like the nails and the hammer. That was a bit of an interesting choice, especially for how she like chooses to take out the various curses. And then Gojo's just cool. He's funny. And he's like, aha, so they're all crazy.
Yeah, that's good.
Which I think is just like, yeah, sometimes it just takes a ragtag group of interesting individuals to, get this kind of job done. So I honestly really like everyone they've introduced so far. So, yeah. I'm interested to see more people. Envy?
Honestly, I'm a meh with the characters, to tell you the truth. I mean, I know Gojo's like the fan favorite, and I like him a lot. He's got that cool badass master attitude, and I like Megumi. Yeah, I like him. Yeah, the black hair one. He's he's your standard quiet. He almost, I know this is not going to make any sense, but he almost kind of reminded me of Mako from The Legend of Korra, where like he's just like in a situation where he's surrounded by a bunch of goofballs and he's the only one taking it seriously. So I kind of liked that about him.
Yeah, straight man.
Yeah, the straight man. Itadori, I thought he was a okay protagonist. Like, I like his motivation. I like, I like the funeral. Well, not the funeral, but I like the farewell scene he had with his grandfather. I thought that was a nice touching moment. But overall, they haven't really fleshed him out too much beyond that. Although I do like his unique dynamic with Sekina, the spirit. I'm gonna be honest, I couldn't stand Nobara. Like, I'm sure she gets more developed later on in the manga, but I couldn't stand her in this episode and the next episode because it's a two-parter. Because I just couldn't stand her attitude. Like, I'm sorry, I just thought she was a whiner. to put it G rating. So that's
That's why I say
fuck
fuck on here like all the time. You can say whatever you want.
Yeah, no, but
we do curse on here.
Yeah,
my friend.
I know.
What word were you looking for? Do you want me to try to guess it?
You really feel
Female dog. How about that?
Oh, a bitch.
female dog.
Yeah.
Try to be so nice.
That's how basically I felt about her. So that's why I'm a meh on the characters.
I'm going to disagree because I'm a yay on the characters. I don't want to parrot a lot of the things you guys have been saying because I agree with a lot of it. So, like, yeah, I think the main thing I want to just add to it is probably, like, the motivation for Yuji, I thought was something that we don't see very often. And it's the closest comparison I could probably make is the Spider-Man thing. With great power comes great responsibility. It wasn't just like now he's trying to find a good way to die. He's also like, his whole thing, he was a slacker through a lot of his life because he was like, yeah, I can do these things, I can do them well, but literally anyone can do them, so what's the point? Now he has found something that only he is able to do, and if he doesn't do it, people will be hurt. And so he's like, it's my responsibility to do this, because if anyone does get hurt because I didn't act, that's on me. That's my fault. So I thought that was, and I don't feel like we see that kind of motivation enough. Love
Honestly,
the interactions, all that stuff. What was that?
No, I was just gonna say, honestly, yeah, that take on like a character's motivations is honestly really refreshing to see, because it's kind of like you don't really see, like, there are a lot of like actual people who do sort of think that way.
Mm-hmm.
So it's honestly really refreshing to see it in a piece of media.
Yeah, other than Spider-Man.
Yes.
And I think they kind of just want to like bring this up, and this is kind of is my feelings on more than just this subject, but I feel like this is kind of, I feel like we're saying a lot of times, like in this show, they're your run of the mill this, they're the basic this, and yet we're giving it really solid yays for the most part. I think that's because I feel like we've seen all this before, but it's executed, if not perfect, near perfect. Like,
Yeah.
like, you guys have seen Deadpool, right? The movie?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. When you think about it, the movie is basic as hell. It is the most run-of-the-mill revenge story movie ever made. But in execution, it is wildly entertaining and unique to itself.
Yeah.
Oh,
And I
absolutely.
think kind of the same thing is happening here. We have, yes, this is Soul Eater and Naruto and Bleach, and like, I haven't seen Bleach yet, but a whole bunch of other things that we have without a doubt seen before. We keep calling them Kakashi and Sasuke. We've seen these tropes a bunch of times. And I think, like, overall for this whole Shonen Showdown thing, we're going to see a lot of things that are very similar to one another. I mean, we're already seeing some things that were probably similar between this and Fairy Tail and One Piece and Hunter x Hunter. We'll get there. But I think a lot of it is going to come down to, is this executed well? I think here, it's executed well. I think the characters' execution is great. For as basic as they are very endearing.
And it kind of makes sense because I think the author has said in interviews and stuff that he was inspired by stuff like Naruto and everything. I think, like, growing up, he was kind of like us, where he was a fan of those kind of shonen shows. And then he created his own, so I think he was, like, already really passionate about that kind of stuff, and then kind of infused his own style into it.
Well, I feel like you could say that about just about any person who does things creative, whether it's music, movies, manga, what have you. They always have, like, I troll Wikipedia a lot. They always have, like, influenced by.
Yeah.
And you see, like, the number of people. Like, we were saying last time that we thought, like, based on some of the eyes and stuff from One Piece, that they might have been influenced by Dragon Ball.
Dragon Ball. Yeah.
And I'm like, I could absolutely see that. Yeah, I without a doubt, I saw some inspiration from some of those other shonen in this. But again, the execution, it was just done really well for me, and that's, I got to give it a yay there.
But how'd you feel about Nobara?
How did I feel about Nobara? Should I just go? I feel like I'm gonna parrot a lot of things, but like,
you don't have to go through each one if you don't want to. I was just
Yuji.
curious because most of us liked her, but
I
Envy didn't.
covered Yuji. I I'm not in love with Megumi yet. I don't feel like I know enough about him yet. But he seems solid. He seems like Sasuke minus some of the angst. So he's a little more relatable at times.
Minus the anger. Minus the
Yeah.
anger.
Minus the anger. He's still got the angst. He
Not
doesn't
much
have the anger, but
though.
we don't know if he has a
He's
brother
actually
yet.
like pretty neutral about stuff.
Yeah. Gojo, he was fun. He was a lot of fun, and I can tell he's gonna have some interesting stuff going on. And Nobara, I don't know. I thought she was just the right level of bitchy. Like there's a
Who'd you compare it to? Asuka?
I don't love Asuka.
Oh.
I feel like there's always she's a tsundere, and the thing about tsunderes is there's always that line of like that they have to straddle because
I do
it's
like Asuka though. She's a good tsundere.
Look, I get it that a lot of people do. I don't. There's a fine line for tsunderes, and there's always like you fall on one side of it, one way or the other. You always straddle the line, but you're always ending up on one side of it where you're either I like you or you're too bitchy.
Yeah.
It's like
So you think Asuka's too bitchy?
I think Asuka's a little too bitchy. She falls on that side. She almost had a balance, and she turned out to be a bitch, I think. But I don't think Nobara is a bitch. But, it's only been 3 episodes. They could change. I don't know. But overall, I'm EA. I'm EA for them. So,
Okay.
it looks like character is overall yay, with a meh in there from the Contrarian. I'm done. I'm kidding.
It's a fair meh.
Yeah, it is a fair meh.
Yeah.
This is pretty early, and if you're not particularly into some of the tropes that we're seeing, one, why are you watching so much shonen? But I think that's a fair point. Moving on, though, if we're all ready to move on, we can just talk about the world building elements of this, and I believe you're leading us off, Yin.
Yes. I think overall I like the world building in this. Kind of like what both Envy and Chibi were saying earlier. I like that it's based on the curses, and I thought it was interesting that the curses come from human beings, and they kind of conglomerate in places like hospitals and schools. So I thought overall it was a really interesting idea, and then the idea of kind of harnessing and learning about and using these curses in order to fight them, I think was a really interesting idea. And it could almost be seen as like an interesting theme about like taking these bad emotions and everything and then like learning to harness them and use them like psychologically too. So I thought it was really interesting overall. I think in the first 3 episodes you don't see very much of how their techniques work, like how the curse techniques work, but I think there's some hints of them, like with Nobara's curse technique, and Megumi you kind of see the dogs and everything. I think that once we see more of it, I think it only gets more interesting. So, but I can only judge off the first 3 episodes, so we see a little bit. Same with like the principal's little plush toys or whatever that were actually like cursed corpses. That was cool. So I think a lot of the world building in terms of the curses and the techniques, I really like those aspects. And of course Sukuna being like the master of curses or whatever he is, whatever you want to call him. I think
title was something to do with that.
I think it's the King of Curses is his
Okay.
title overall.
Something like that. It's something of curses. Basically,
It's like translated differently every time.
it's head honcho. Head
Yeah.
honcho of
But wait,
curses.
we have the dub.
He's
There's
the
a
biggest
specific.
curse. He's either way, I think overall the world was really interesting and it was pretty clear like how it operated. So I would give it a yay on world building all in all.
Okay, my turn. I'm gonna give world building a yay. So as far as world building goes, they give you. I'm agreeing with a lot of what Yin said. I'm just gonna add a little bit to like how they like basically pace it out to you. Like, here's a little nugget here, here's a little nugget there, here's another one, here's another one. It's not all at once.
Yeah.
which is nice, because you get to learn things sort of as you go. Which, and I'm gonna like refer to last week's episode with Fairy Tale. It was just a lot of exposition dumps all at once. Which
We should say
wasn't
that
really
narrator had a
great.
good voice for narrating.
no,
I will-
the
I
narrator
will
did
say
have a
that.
very good voice for it. It's just the fact that like
We gave
I
that
feel
dub
like-
a yay. So
Yeah.
But anyway, so I feel like how they like dose it out to us is, a good sort of level for how they want us to learn about their world. Also, it's like basically they go to a technical school, which I thought was like sort of interesting. And it's basically like under the guise of an old religious school, which I think is pretty cool. And again, like the whole curse thing, the 20 different fingers that they have to collect.
Oh yeah, 20 fingers because the Demon Lord has 4 arms. So.
And 2 faces.
Yeah.
That's a thing.
Every demon is two-faced if you think about it.
Ah. But anyway, so it's yeah, the world building was really good so far. I want to learn more, which for me, if you're building a world, is definitely a good thing, because if I feel like I've learned everything I need to know, I'm not gonna really care. So yeah. Envy, your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree with you guys on how the world building was a lot more natural and not, like immediately dumped on you. Like episode 1 was mainly from Yuji's perspective on how he's just a normal kid expecting, going to an occult, and then all of a sudden, oh, the occult's actually real. Oh no, they're attacking his friends. Oh no, he's got to make the ultimate sacrifice in order to save his friends. And then in episode 2, you get, the big, opening fight, which we'll talk about later. And from there, Yuji's world gets opened up to not just the world of the curses, but the world of this whole society of sorcery fighters. And from there, in episode 3, you get their first mission once they become a part of the school. So yeah, I think in that sense, it's a traditional format from like a structure standpoint, but it still feels natural. So yeah, I give it a yay.
Yeah, I'd agree with all of that. I feel like I'm coming on the end of these for right now, so it's like I don't want to do a lot of parroting.
You didn't want to talk first.
I didn't, but at the same time, I also don't want to parrot and waste a lot of time, because I'm just going to say a lot of the same stuff. World building was good here. I do like that it is a situation of learning as the protagonist is learning. It kind of also helps to put us in his shoes a little bit. But at the same time, yeah, it looks like, from the second episode, the first episode kind of made it seem like, okay, there's a couple different ways you might be able to use this curse stuff, but as soon as the second episode showed up and they're using plush toys as battle golems or whatever, I'm like, okay, there are a lot of possibilities here. So that's a lot. Yeah, you set up a world that seems expansive while also still kind of seeming kind of intimate to our own world, because it is kind of an urban fantasy. Not so much as like, we saw with like Fairy Tail and One Piece how they were just fantastical, almost high fantasy places with high fantasy shenanigans going on, versus this is a little more almost American Gods-esque.
Yeah.
To a degree. Because, like, I don't know if anyone watching is a fan of American Gods, the book or the series or whatever, or the TV series, whatever you want to take, but like a lot of power that the gods in that book get comes from people knowing about the gods and worshiping them or doing whatever. Yeah. And in a way, the curses do that. Like in the third episode, they go to an abandoned building, and they're like, of course there's a curse there. But why is there a curse there? Because everyone believes that abandoned buildings are cursed.
Yeah. Like,
if people just didn't believe that, there wouldn't be a curse there. So, and that kind of is an extension of, like, Nobara. And she came from, like, a small town. Small town, small curses. There's not enough people to feed into it. But then she goes to Tokyo, and, like, these things are powerful here. They're powerful because of energy or spirit or whatever, or they're smart, which she's not used to dealing with. So everything is kind of new for them to some degree, and it's new for us, and we're learning with them. And it just feels natural. So, yeah, yay. Solid yay. Yeah?
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's hard being the last one to go in this.
Anchor sucks, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I kind of liked learning about the world as Itadori learned about it. Like, it was, because sometimes you'll get, like, I guess like you'll get like Fairy Tale where they kind of like tell you about, I guess, Fairy Tale and stuff from the beginning, at least like from what I know, because I haven't watched like any more of Fairy Tale besides what we were supposed to watch, so I can't really speak for more of it. But like with this one, I was kind of like a little confused at first, but I figured that's probably supposed to happen. Like, I'm probably not supposed to like know things right away, and that's okay. And I was like, okay, like fine to learn it when he learned it. And I was like that it was kind of told in like a flashbacky sort of way. Like he started out being like with Gojo being like, okay, you're gonna be executed, and then it was kind of like showed how they got up to that point. And Gojo was kind of explaining things to him, and
Oh
I
my
do
God,
like
it's the Deadpool thing again.
yeah, I do like that
Get all
Gojo
cut
was
off
the
now?
one. I do like that Gojo was the one like kind of explaining things, because it makes it different from like a narrator. Like, I mean, it is cool to have like and fine to have narrators explaining stuff, but I really liked Gojo's like descriptions of stuff, I guess, kind of.
Which makes sense also because he's a teacher.
Right.
Yeah, and it just felt like very nice to have it explained like by a character. So, but I liked it, so I'd give it a yay.
Cool. All right, that sounds like a solid yay for world building as well. Moving right along though into art and animation. Who's taking this one, the lead on this? Is this Chibi?
Chibi.
Yeah,
Yep.
that me.
Chibi, take it away.
So the art and animation for me, I wasn't really sure, just looking at the thumbnails for this, but after just watching the first 3 episodes, I'm giving it a yay, for sure. Would you describe this as cell shading in animation?
I
For
think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
'cause
because are you asking like, do you think they used cell shading? I think so.
Yeah, okay, because I was just like, okay, this is a little bit different because, they're not, like, doing full shading like how, like, they usually do with animes, like, all the shadows and shading and stuff like that. I wasn't really seeing a whole lot of that, which is actually a technique that I kind of see a little bit more nowadays, with a little bit simpler sort of looking animation, and I don't know if that's just budget things or whatever, but I was okay with it at first, and I was like, okay, this is cool. Opening animation, absolutely beautiful. That was like, whoo, this is very nice. And then the fight scene, for episode 1, I was like, what is this? This looks really cool. So I think just like the visuals and the art for this are just like while they look a little bit more on the simple side, they're definitely like very nice to look at. So it is a yay for me.
Alrighty.
Yeah, I'm a high yay for this one. As far as the animation goes, it's made by Studio Mappa, who is slowly becoming like one of the bigger anime studios in
Yeah.
recent
I'm gonna
memory.
go so into that, man. Yeah.
Dude, it's
Because-
awesome.
They've been doing a whole bunch of shows the last couple years, and they're even doing the final season of Attack on Titan right now. And so far, they're doing a good job on that. That's a different story, but yeah, the art and animation are really good, but the fight scene alone between Sato and Sakuna from episode 2, that was just like, holy shit, that was whew. They I don't know if you guys ever
a glass
heard.
of water afterwards.
Well, I'm sure none of you have seen this, but have you heard of the show that came out this year called The God of High School by any chance?
I've
Yeah.
seen it.
Heard
Yeah.
Oh, you've seen it? Okay, you've seen
It
it.
looks
They
great.
also,
Yeah.
they Mappa did that show too, and the fights in that show were
okay.
unbelievable. So they pretty much carried over
Right.
to this show. So yeah, they high yay for me on that.
Yeah, just going off of that, I just have nothing but praise for Mappa at this point. I mean, I don't. Well, I have a caveat on that. This is mostly gonna be me talking about Mappa. We watched Dororo
Yeah.
this year, like not too well. Last year.
Wait, are you talking about are you talking about Doro or Dorohedoro?
No,
they're both made by
Dororo.
Mappa,
They're
but
both
Dororo.
Mappa, though.
People fucking slept on Dororo. It's
It's
amazing.
amazing.
Oh, I love that show. You mean what?
That's where you got your horse head.
Right.
Yeah.
We saw that. We were like envy.
I was envy.
Yeah,
you
I
missed it.
I missed it at first.
Yeah, I that was one of the
amazing,
most
though.
underrated shows of last year.
Oh,
Yeah, that was-
unbelievably so.
Yeah.
Yes. Both in quality and how I had never heard of it before. What the hell?
Right.
But,
I had to
yeah.
recommend it to you.
Oh yeah, thank you, by the way. But yeah,
The animation and the fight scenes was really good in that one too.
yeah, I'm like I don't know like if the main anime community is feeling this way, but like I'm honestly feeling hyped about like anything Mappa does right now. Like,
Well,
you know how
some of their past shows include. Well,
I remember we watched Zombieland Saga. That
Yuri
wasn't
on
super
Ice.
about that. I know they
Yeah,
did Yuri on
Yuri.
Ice and like some stuff like
The
that.
skating
but,
scenes are
Oh,
great.
yeah.
but like I'm starting to feel like personally how like I feel like a lot of people back in like 2013 were feeling about like Studio Trigger, where they're like, oh my
Yeah.
god, Kill la Kill, it saved anime. Oh my god, Little Witch Academia, it saved anime. Oh my god, I forgot what they did
Yeah.
after that. I feel like people are like cooled down off
They
the
made
Trigger now.
Promare.
Promare was pretty good, but
That
like
one was beautiful.
I feel like people have cooled off on them. We haven't had like a hype train
that's
for a
because Mappa
studio.
Yeah.
rose.
But again, I don't know that I'm hearing enough hype around Mappa to be
I think
like
it's
their
getting
studio.
more hype.
Trigger.
no, there is. If you go on the
Yeah.
R Anime Reddit, there is a lot of hype for Mappa, and
Okay,
they
I'm just
getting
not
all
on
over.
the forums. I'm
they
just not
they
connected
even
enough.
announced last week that they're going to be adapting. I don't know if you
Chainsaw
guys
Man?
ever. Yeah,
Oh, yeah, you were
Chainsaw
saying
Man.
I'm
They're
so-
adapting that.
Yes, I'm psyched. I can't wait. It's one of my favorite ongoing manga.
So yeah, if you haven't been able to tell at this point, I'm a yay on this, but I do want to postulate a bit of a side thought. One Punch Man Season 2 from Mappa.
No, that wasn't Mappa. That was
No,
that
I know it wasn't. I want it now.
Just redo season 2. By
Or
Mappa.
if the other studio had never done it and it was given to Mappa instead, what do we think?
Yeah.
It would have
Would
been better
that
than
have
what we've
held
gotten.
I'm like, would it have held up? Because I know Madhouse did amazing work with One Punch Man Season 1.
Yeah.
It would have been
Would
good for
Mappa
the
help?
action and the animation. I still would have thought the story was shit, but that's just my personal opinion.
I only saw like one episode. It didn't look as good at all.
I got through like 5 or 6, and I was like,
Yeah.
you are not focusing.
I
where
don't
you
know
should
where
be
the story
focusing.
went though.
That's the problem. It didn't go anywhere. It was
It
too mismatched.
Oh damn.
Not to stay on the subject for too long, but I think like that season of One Punch Man was kind of like the middle point, like where it's a little meandering, and like I think season 1 was about establishing the world, and whatever their last bit of whatever One Punch Man does become in the manga or something would probably be about like the big climactic thing of the story. And I feel like season 2 just kind of got caught like as a middle walking point between the two.
It was in a lull.
A little bit. It tried to have its peaks and whatnot, but you know. Anyway, I'm a yay on
Mappa.
Mappa and what was done with Jujutsu Kaisen and their animation and stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, I like the animation. I'm not like super into like I don't know who made what and everything, because I'm just not that, I guess, up to par with
Normally
my
I'm not either, but now I'm
anime
like noticing,
studios.
God, they're making everything that I'm enjoying.
But I did like it. And I recognize I like just looked Mappa up when I was while you guys were talking, and I was like, oh yeah, I recognize some of these anime. And yeah, I like the animation. I don't really know like what else to say besides I think that the scenes like were pretty like easy to like watch in like a fluid kind of way, and I like the character like designs and everything, and yeah, it was good. Yay.
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 Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
And then,
Yee.
I'm gonna give it a yay too, obviously.
yay.
Yeah, I think it looks really great. The action scenes flowed really well, like everybody else said. I mean, the scene with Sukuna and Gojo, like everybody else was saying, was just amazingly animated. And I think overall, like, even the scenes where they're just sitting there and talking were still animated just fine. You know, it still looked good. And
It didn't look like cheap.
yeah, it still looked expensive.
Like there's still
You know,
like
they put money into it.
There's those scenes where, like, I mean, Evangelion is probably like the best example of this, where they just repeat the animation for a really long time to save money.
Mm-hmm.
It looks artistic, but
Yeah, right. But
I'll praise that show. I'm trying not to get people to hate on us. I don't know.
but I see what you mean, you know. And this one didn't have that problem of like too much repeat animation or anything like that. And I liked the character designs and everything. So, and of course, Mappa's been rocking it. So I would say they did a great job with this one. And I'm really excited to see some of the scenes I know are coming up. That should look really cool. So it gets me excited about what's to come. So, yay.
So yay. Oh, what did you guys think about the animation for the ending?
Oh, I loved it.
I mean,
I was
Because
really
no one
cool,
mentioned
yeah.
that.
well, I was
I
gonna
just
say that
realized no
before.
one was
I was
talking
gonna
about
save
it.
that when we talked about ODs and EDs or
Yeah.
OPs and EDs.
Oh, okay. I thought we could
Oh.
like talk about it a little
I
bit for the
was
animation, but if you
gonna-
want to save it for there, that's fine.
I mean,
Yeah, I
speaking of
was
which, I just
waiting.
wanted to let you guys bring your attention to this thing I sent you on Instagram.
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah, I saw that. That was cool.
Believe me, I have a lot to say about the ED.
Okay, all right. We can save that portion for then. But overall, art and animation sounds like a yay.
Good.
Sound
Oh, yeah.
and dubbing. Envy, you want to take us into this category?
Here we go.
Yeah. I mean, like the animation, the sound was also really great. Like the sounds of the curses are appropriately, creepy and disgusting when they need to be, and the action and like everything, is really good. As far as the dubbing is concerned, I'm kind of mixed whenever I watch a show, whether it's subbed or dubbed. Usually, if a show's coming out, I tend to watch the sub first, which I did, and so I went back and watched the dub. I thought the dub was pretty competent. I thought all the actors sounded good for what they were. So yeah, I give it a yay.
Cool. I am 100% a yay on this. I loved the dub of this. I might be like, I think you might have shown me the first episode subbed at one
we
point,
watched it subbed a while ago.
and I liked it.
And you didn't continue.
But well, no, I think we were just watching other stuff, and like other
Yeah,
stuff was
yeah.
going on. I can't remember exactly when we watched it.
You
but
didn't seem as excited until the dub, though.
we had some busy shit going on the last
Mhm.
year, so. But yeah, actually, that might have been like right before you showed me Dororo, so that might be your fault.
You got real into Dororo. That
Yeah.
was great.
But yeah, I definitely like. I gotta give compliments to like all the actors. They just, and part of this is also the writing and the characters themselves. Everyone just works off of each other so well, and I don't know if because I wasn't really laughing too much at episode 1, which is not
Yeah.
that funny, but like.
Later on.
Yeah, I heard the dub, and like I think this might be part of the reason why I don't watch as many anime comedies. And I think it's because like, yeah, there's issues sometimes with translating a joke to another language, or a pun in one language doesn't work for another. And Japanese humor is different than American humor. I think we've gone over this a few times. But another thing is like, if I have to watch it sub, that means I'm reading a joke, and usually reading a joke is not as good as hearing it intoned by someone in the moment.
Right.
Like, I don't know why I laughed at this so much, but it was like, Megami meets Yuji at the hospital because of the cursed energy thing, and he's like, I'm in mourning, right? I'm like, I don't know what it was about that. I was just like, that was hilarious.
The way he said it was good.
Like, everyone just has,
Yeah.
and like, even before
it
that.
was like, I'm in mourning.
I'm in mourning? And even before that, when Megami's just looking for the curse,
Yeah.
he's just on the phone with Goji, and he's or Gojo.
Goji.
Goji. I don't know. Okay, it's all Japanese
He's
now.
Goji now.
Goji.
It's official.
Don't put that on me. Don't put that on me. Like, he's just on the phone with him, and maybe part of it is like you can tell there's so much like chemistry going on with them that he's just he's telling him stuff and he's just like, do you want me to punch you? He's like, and like I think he's just like, yeah, I'm gonna punch that guy. Like, I think that helped build the character, but it also is just like, yeah, you guys just put this in so well. Like some of the lines even later, like, how do you introduce yourself? It's like, hi, I'm this guy and I'm into Jennifer Lawrence. Like,
That
okay.
was my favorite.
no, I'll tell you my favorite. My favorite was their lines in episode 3, honestly. Like, she shows up and she's just like, hi, I'm the girl.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's just
that
good
was
lines,
good.
man.
She knows
And-
what we were all thinking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think they
But
just had
you-
a really good writing team
Yeah.
for this show.
See,
The
but here's
one
the
at
thing.
the staircase.
Yeah, you're an uncontrollable roller coaster of emotions, and you can't get a girlfriend.
That was good.
Like,
And then he's just like, bitch.
bitch, bitch. Envy, what's the
Never
word?
said anything about splitting up.
Female dog.
Ah, we made him say it. I feel like you're like Colossus. Enjoy hell, potty mouth.
Oh my god.
No, believe me, I can swear if I want to.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, I really had a lot of fun with it. And yeah, and part I don't know for sure that I should be like 100% going off the lines because I feel like even you were saying in the manga that they were
A lot of them
funny
were the
like
same. Like the Jennifer
So
Lawrence
some of
was
it-
still in there.
Some of it is just a translation. It's not really like the dub team writing them new jokes. They're just like jokes that just work. And like I feel like that goes towards points for character. But a lot of it is also a good joke told poorly is a bad joke. But a good joke told well is a good joke. And I had a lot of fun with this dub and I liked all of it. So yeah.
Who published the manga in English?
Viz Media.
They're always really good with their translations. They've got some real good translators. In that
Wow, the
company.
translator was arrested recently, but hopefully the new guy's good too.
Oh
Do I
fuck!
need to know?
It was, you know what it was,
Oh
right?
god. That's what it usually is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Great.
Not the worst kind of
You
crime.
can all guess.
Great.
Moving on. Gav, what'd you think of the dub?
It was good. I enjoyed the voice actors. I enjoyed Megumi, aka Tuxedo Mask, aka
Oh yeah, that was him.
aka Goro Akechi, from Persona 5.
It's good.
Yeah, Robbie Damon. But yeah, I thought the dub was pretty good. I thought the lines that you said, Al, were very funny.
Well, thank you.
one-
I do my best.
Yeah. But like I enjoyed the dubbing, the translations. I thought it was amusing, and that's always a good thing to have when you're watching something dubbed, because like most of the time it's like, oh well, the sub, it just sounds more natural and they did it better, but like this sounded pretty natural too. So yeah, yay.
Yeah, I agree with what everybody else said. I think the jokes really landed, which surprised me. And I'm not.
Because you're a bit of a sub snob sometimes.
Yeah, a little. I'm not always into dubs, and kind of like Envy, I watched it subbed first, so it was a little bit weird watching it dubbed. I was just used to the sub actors, but I feel like after the first episode, I got used to it, and it did sound pretty natural, and I liked the voices that they chose for them overall. And the lines were pretty funny, and it was translated well, so I think it would be mostly a yay for me. It just took me a bit to ease into it, but it was pretty good.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool. Now, Chibe,
So,
where did you start this?
okay, so I'm a light yay on this. Sound design was great. The score was great. I can't remember any of the songs, but they were all really good, and I was really into it. But the only real caveat that I have is this is the first time that I'm really watching the show, and I'm watching the dub, so I have nothing else to really like go off of for how my impression of how the voice acting is going for this. And while I do love, I love Yuji's voice, I love Gojo's voice, I like Sukuna's voice. I like all of those. I think they're very, very good. I have like a couple of reservations on Megami's and Nobara's. Only just
What?
because like I feel like they need a little bit of a tweak. And that's, I don't know if it's just me, mostly just because like I feel the voice could sound like slightly different, and I think it's mostly just because I'm going off of the faces. Just the faces for me. I feel like a slightly different voice would suit that character a little more. But those are the only things that I would really say for it, as far as like for things that I have like some reservations about. I feel like if they had done it a little bit more in like say a different, slightly different pitch or tone, I feel like it would have worked a little better for me. But otherwise, they sound fine.
I actually really liked Nobara's voice, but I'm gonna say, like, I forgot about this, but I was kind of off-put by Sukuna's at first. Anybody else think it was a little bit weird? He sounded kind of like a weird old man or something. The Japanese one is a lot better to me.
Well, isn't
Yeah,
he
I
like
kind
an
of agree with you there.
Yeah, but it sounded kind of weird.
I
Like,
mean, he's
Envy,
supposed
you
to
heard
be
the Japanese.
old.
Did you like it better?
Yeah, I kind of thought that was just, it was like the Linda Blair thing. Like, Linda Blair
Maybe.
doesn't sound like a little girl in The Exorcist.
No.
I mean, yeah, he's supposed to sound different, but he just sounded a little bit weird to me. Maybe it's just me.
It'd be a little weird having a little girl say, your mother sucks cocks in hell.
I'm not saying he should sound like Yuji. I'm just saying the Japanese one I like better. That's
I'm
all.
just wondering if maybe they tried it and they're like, maybe we should go with someone else to fulfill this part of the character's role. Only because, like, I know certain voice actors can only pull off so much with their voices, and maybe they just weren't getting exactly what they wanted with Yuji's normal voice.
Right. I don't think it should be played by Yuji. I just thought that maybe somebody else should do Sukuna entirely. Like, not Yuji and not the one they got from Sukuna.
So, someone whose voices sounded more similar to Yuji's own voice, is what you're saying?
I don't know if it's that. It's
You want
just
something similar to the Japanese voice.
Yeah, like I can't describe the Japanese voice, but I think it was done so well.
I think you
He
are
sounded
Japanese.
No, he sounded like evil.
No, I
and
agree.
stuff.
It was more calming and more like downtrodden, intimidating. It wasn't, over the top.
Yeah.
It was kinda...
Oh, so more devil on your shoulder than,
Yeah.
than
more
Exorcist.
slithery. More
Yeah.
slithery.
Okay.
I will
Yeah.
say though that Ray Chase, who did Sukuna, has like such a variety of like voices
Oh yeah.
that he does, like, because he's the Pooty prisoner in One Punch Man.
Oh my god.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I did not watch the double
I
didn't
he's-
know that.
He's Piccolo in
Yeah.
Dragon Ball Super.
Okay, I know Piccolo.
He is. Let's see, who else is he? He's I don't know if you guys would know. He's Gendo Ikari.
Oh.
He's
Wait, from which dub?
uh
I've only
uh,
seen the one dub.
the 2019 the Netflix redub.
Didn't see it.
Oh, the
Gendo.
new one.
Yeah. He's Bruno
Interesting.
from JoJo.
Didn't see it.
No.
He's
Go deeper.
He's got a lot,
okay.
man.
He's Noctis from Final Fantasy.
I haven't
Oh.
played Final Fantasy.
Really?
I haven't.
Oh, okay.
I don't have 90 hours to spend in a week.
He's,
No, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about him being Noctis.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah, he's Noctis.
Really?
He's got
Okay.
some range, I guess.
He's Roy in Fire Emblem.
Wow. Alright, maybe I'm judging him too harshly. I was just comparing it to the Japanese.
That or maybe he
but
made a bad decision.
Yeah.
maybe he'll get better, like, as I see more of him doing Sukuna. Like, maybe I'll change my mind. He wasn't bad by any means. I think I was just used to the other one, and it just had a different quality to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Well, the thing is like, even with, like, the thing is between, like, the English language and the Japanese language, I feel like they take different things to sound creepy.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like for the Japanese, like, the whole slithery kind of, like, real more softer tone sounds a bit more foreboding. Whereas, like, we're trying to make this dude sound like he's not to be messed with. Which is what you're going for in English, so...
I guess the intention was probably different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Still looks like it's overall a yay.
Yeah.
So, yay on dubs. Oh shit, we're back around to me.
Yeah.
Opening and ending. I think it's already been said a little bit, like, these things are gorgeous. And I'm actually having a little bit of trouble remembering the songs a little bit, if I'm going to be honest.
The ED song is called Lost in
The
Paradise.
ending song is
You can
great.
give me the titles, but, you know.
I can't remember what the...
I was grooving to that.
It was a good end
Second
song.
one.
Did you recognize the band that played the song, though?
I probably would if I heard it again, but
It was the same band that did the opening to Beastars.
Ah,
We did look that up,
that
didn't
makes
we?
sense. It does sound like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was good. But
That was
anyway,
nice.
it's not my turn.
Well, it could be pretty soon. I don't know. I don't know that I have a lot to say that hasn't been said. Like the ending, I enjoyed. Yeah, that was nice. But I especially remember like a lot of the animation. We kind of covered the animation, but like I like how they completely changed up the style for the ending, but it still worked for whatever they were doing, and it was just kind of fun. It was like, I want to watch another episode. So.
Although it's kind of weird, like later on, you get some episodes that are very depressing, and then
Hey!
the ED
We know there are gonna be depressing episodes.
Hey,
That's
now.
not a spoiler.
Episodes 1 through 3.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, it's one of those situations where, like, something bad happens, and then the ED's coming along. Oh, they're grooving.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's always
That
gonna
kind of
happen
reminds me
occasionally.
of the second season of Free and Future Fish, because Free had me crying that second season a lot. And then they would play Future Fish, and I would be like, stop it!
Yeah, a mood.
Well,
That's
I know we're
funny.
not going to talk about Madoka, but they had a really
yeah.
happy ending. But they were smart enough to switch it after episode 3.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they knew.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I feel like that was planned because they had, like, a still image
Oh, they
for
planned
the first two
everything.
episodes that I was just like, okay, this seems a little simple, but all right. And then they changed it in episode 3. I was like, oh, this makes so much more sense.
Mhm. Well, yeah, so I'm a yay on. I'm a bit of a soft yay. I remember the animation, but I don't remember the opening song that well. I'm going to say a soft
Oh, it's so good.
yay. Who's next?
Yeah.
It'd be me. Yeah. I liked them. I thought they were cool. I definitely thought I actually saw the ending before seeing the anime, because it was like, on Tumblr, there were like, it was going around when it first like came out, like because it was just so popular.
Did you
and
see the
everyone
different
was like-
versions of the ED, like different franchises mixed in with that?
That
Yes.
does
anim-
seem like a very
Yes.
like one they could do that very easily with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw lots of that where people were like animating other like anime with that ending, and I just remember my friend being like, oh man, I really want to watch this just because of the ending.
Hey, you
And
should
I-
tell them to watch this episode.
Yeah, I will tell them to watch it. But yeah, so I was like, oh yeah, this is really good, and then the opening was pretty good too. So yeah, I enjoyed it. Yay.
Yeah, I agree. I have nothing but good things to say about the animation in both the opening and the ending. I mean, the opening was like top notch animation in general. I mean, it flowed so well, and like the light and stuff. I remember them doing cool things with how the light touched everything. So the opening animation was amazing, and then the ending was like really surprising. I hadn't seen the ending before watching it, and it was like really cute and jazzy. And the animation like really worked well, even though it was totally different from the show. I thought it worked. And the song in the ending was really cool. I thought it was super catchy. The song in the opening, kind of like Al said, I don't remember it that well, so I don't think it was like my favorite, just because usually when I really love a song, I remember it, just like the ending song. So I think
Yeah.
the opening song wasn't quite as good as the ending song, except the animation was still amazing. But I think the opening song was still pretty good. So overall, I'd say the opening and ending were both very good.
ending of Jujutsu Kaisen versus opening of Dororo.
Oh my god, no! Don't make me choose. The opening of Dororo is amazing.
If you learned anything from this, it's just you should go
you
watch
should watch
Dororo.
Like,
Hint for a
opening.
future episode.
Hey, I don't know, baby. Yeah, why not? Oh.
It would just be us gushing over Dororo.
I feel like that's this episode already. But
Dororo is a yay.
Yeah, Dororo's a yay.
Anyway, yeah, this was a yay.
Okay, so for me, this is a yay. As Yin said, beautiful visuals for the opening. Also really interesting visuals for the end. So the opening song, Kai Kai Kitan, is actually it's by Eve. Performed by Eve, who is actually
Wait,
a
doll
Vocaloid
from
producer
Life
and
Size?
singer-songwriter, which someone who really liked Vocaloids when they were but a wee child. I'm like, yes.
Oh, so you've been
All
reading for
the
a while.
way.
Wow.
Yeah,
Nice.
so I that's actually, like, out of the two songs, that is the one that I prefer. I do love the ending, like, a lot. I do love it. But honestly, if I were to get a choice between, like, buying one of the two songs to put on my phone so I could listen to it, I'd buy the opening.
Buys music.
What?
What is this
Mostly
foreign concept?
Mostly
What
just
is this?
because I can't.
2002?
I don't like to use my LTE to use Spotify because that racks up my bill. So I don't do it.
There you go. You're supporting the creators.
So, but yes, I buy music. Who cares?
I do. I care. I'm judging
I
you.
get it. I'm being a dick.
I mean, he judges me all the time anyway.
Doesn't matter at this point.
Are you?
Is that you?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I didn't. Are you done, Chibi?
Yes.
Okay. As far as the opening, yeah, I mean the animation itself is really gorgeous, and the song I wasn't too crazy about at first, but it's been growing on me more the more I listen to it. The ED, on the other hand, let me tell you about the ED.
Tell us about your ED.
I'm sure you
Yeah,
guys
pill for
know. I'm sure you guys know that I watch a lot more anime than I probably should.
It seems like you watch more
Yes.
than you should be physically capable of.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say,
Yeah.
compared to where you were when you first started watching anime freshman year of college to where you are now,
Yeah, I know.
You got
I
some
took
sort of spatial time dilation that just, I don't know, but yeah. I'm
I
pretty
don't
sure you
do
could have
it.
watched One Piece in a week or
but
less.
well,
yeah.
I mean, I did watch Death Note 5 days, so
Whoa.
Oh, that's actually,
Yeah.
it's only like 30-something episodes. So
I
it's
guess
actually not
that's
too
fair.
extreme.
But anyway, every year I categorize, I go, out of all the shows I watch, I pick my favorite opening visuals, ED visuals, opening song, ED song. The openings for last year were really tough. As soon as I heard the ED for the first time and saw the visuals, it was an instant number one of the year, without a doubt. I've probably listened to that song, Lost in Paradise by Ollie, probably at least over 20 times, if not more.
It's that good.
It is such a fucking banger.
Why is this the first time hearing of this list? Why are we not making that a video every year?
It'd just be me talking about what I've seen for 20 to 30 minutes.
What the fuck do you think this series is?
I mean,
Anime
if you
Anime
wanna-
Special, openings and endings.
Yes.
I
Make it
mean,
a
I
thing.
could-
December 2021. We got a lot of time, man.
We do.
I mean, I'll do that for next year if you want.
Why
because
not? Yeah. I'm down for content.
I mean, I've already done mine for 2019 and 2020, so that's pretty much.
It's too late for that now.
I know, but
No, maybe not for the 2021. I mean, we're like what, less than 2 weeks in.
yeah. But anyway, I can't say enough good things about the ED, and like I was mentioning earlier, it's almost become a meme because people are taking franchises and putting in the characters. Like there's one for JoJo, and of course I love that video because they had Jotaro as Megami, they had
Good.
Joseph as as Goro, and they had
Goro?
Gojo?
Wait, when did we get into
He
Mortal?
has a lot
Gojo.
of
When did
different
we get to
names.
Gojo.
Mortal Kombat?
Gojo. I'm sorry.
Fight.
And then they had Jolene as Nabara, which I thought was
The
perfect.
girl.
Yeah. So
I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
with the visual for the buns makes a lot of sense.
yeah. And they had Josuke from part. Well, they had both Josuke's. You know how in the ED they had Itadori dancing. They had both Josuke's in part for that.
What are you
So,
talking about? Both Josuke's? We don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Oh, it's not that.
I
big of a
genuinely
spoiler.
don't know what anyone's talking about.
I don't
Yeah.
either.
I don't know.
All right.
It's good. Yay!
All I watched
I'll,
was the David Productions.
I'll shut up, Gav.
Yeah, apparently I have to watch all of JoJo eventually.
No, but
That'll
It's a-
take me like years.
It's a manga spoiler.
I never even read the manga. I just know them.
Wait, I thought. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is Josuke not the fourth one?
Oh, he
Where's
is.
Okay.
I guess there's 2 of him now.
I mean, there were like 3 or 4 versions of Joseph, I thought.
Josuke's on my shirt right now.
Oh.
Because we can see that. It looks beautiful.
Yep. Mhm.
It seems like everyone's a yay on these.
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
one form or fashion,
We're
especially for the
okay.
ending, apparently. Moving right along. Gav, why don't you take us into final thoughts?
Final thoughts?
Final thoughts.
The 7th category.
The 7th category.
Oh.
I feel final thoughts is I think, like, Envy, you came up with that one, right?
Well,
The word.
we originally called it Category 7 for the meme,
We
but
called it
it's-
Category 7, we called it Coolness, we called it X Factor.
would you continue
I think
watching it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, essentially. But that's final thoughts. That's always the final thought. Am I going to watch the next
Yes.
episode?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to keep watching it. Like, after I finished episode 3, I was like, oh darn, now I have to wait.
So you did stop.
Yeah, I
Some
did
people
stop.
have self-control. Some people do not.
Yeah.
Nope.
It's one
I
of their
was
favorite
like-
manga.
I was like, I wish I could watch more, but we shall see. But like, then I was like, even if it's this like doesn't win, I'm still gonna watch more of it.
Same.
Yeah.
But I was like, yeah, I really liked it. Some of my favorite TikTokers were doing it, and I was kind of like,
I don't know if that's a reason to continue watching, but okay.
no, it's not. I'm just saying that that's kind of like I was glad this was on the list for us to watch in the first place, because I was like, oh, like I recognize this from them, and it must be really good if everyone's really into it. And so
Yeah, just like Sword Art Online.
listen, they also
I'm sorry,
they,
I'm being an ass. Stop, just ignore me.
they also do Hunter x Hunter TikToks, which is which we're getting into next, so like that's what I followed them for. So but anyway, yeah, I was like,
you gotta
okay.
name drop them now.
All right.
Link in the
do I?
description. I'm kidding. I'm not. I don't know how many people you follow. If it's like 40, I'm not putting it all in the description.
They already have like over like 90,000.
They don't need our help.
Yeah, they don't need our help.
Fucking TikTok.
All right.
But yeah, it's very good. I give it a yay overall. So
TikTok approved. Gotcha.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yep.
So I guess it's probably no surprise that, yeah, I would definitely continue watching. It's one of my favorite manga, so it's pretty obvious. I'm invested, and I think Mappa did a really good job of adapting it. I think it's been great so far. I've seen a little bit ahead, because I did watch some of the sub before, but I haven't seen the whole first core yet, so I'm interested in seeing the rest. And I was like, yeah, of course, whether we move forward with it or not, I'll keep watching. I think it's been really cool. So it's a yay.
Okay,
Chibi?
so as no one will be surprised with how my answers have gone, I am a yay. Honestly, like, I'm a little bit upset with myself because I slept on this one so long. Like, I saw a little bit of it on Tumblr for some of the people that I follow. I was just like, oh, this looks kind of interesting. I wonder what that's about. Scroll. through the rest of my dash.
You know what else you've been sleeping on? Dororo.
I mean, I should probably watch it, I guess. But anyway, so I will say that, like, I was pleasantly surprised. This has, like, everything I want from something that I will read, watch. Like, I'm a paranormal junkie, so this is, like, I'm just, like, little me inside my brain is going, the entire time. So, yeah, I'm a yay. Nice. Envy?
So I'm going to be coming at this from a very unique perspective. I won't take too long, but
Contrarian.
no. It's a unique thing. Well, not a unique thing, but it's an interesting story. So this came out, the first core came out last season, anime season. I watched the first 8 episodes, dropped it after episode 8 for a month because I didn't care for it. Like I didn't care about episode 4 through 8 that much at all. And then I decided, you know what, people were talking so much praise about it. It's like, am I just not getting it? And then I decided to watch the remainder of the first core, episodes 9 through 13, and it was an amazing arc. And I can tell Yin about what they adapted after this episode.
Friggin' spoilers for
I
the rest
know
of
what
us.
he's talking about.
For the rest
though.
of us who abstained.
He's right.
Well,
I
okay,
did not
I'm just saying. I'm just
abstain.
coming.
I
I'm
also
just.
kept watching.
I'm just coming from that perspective. So I will continue watching the rest of at least the first season because there's only 11 episodes left. So I'm a yay for right now.
I am interested in what happened, like, what made you not like 4 through 8, but I feel like maybe we shouldn't talk about it.
We can
If-
talk about
So
it after the
spoilers?
recording.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm kind of curious.
I'm a yay. I don't know what else new I have to go on about this. It's like, I mean, this scored yay in every category for me. I have no reason not to continue watching this. If it succeeds in going into next week, we're watching another 3 episodes. If it doesn't, I'm gonna watch it all at once.
Binging.
Yeah.
Either way, I win. It's just how fast do I get to win? So,
Or you can just cheat even if it wins.
you know what? I have a little more integrity than some people, I guess, despite
Or you could,
being
or you
me.
or you can rewatch Dororo.
Yeah, that's another option.
No. I'm gonna let that sit for a little bit.
Save it
I gotta
for
let
later.
that. You gotta let that sit for a little bit before you come back to it. Because you watch a good thing too much,
Yeah.
and it becomes a bad thing. I think.
I don't think it
Yeah.
could be a bad thing.
It
Well,
becomes a meh thing.
Yeah.
Yes. It's like, okay, seen this.
I've
this,
seen it
this.
twice now.
Like
And that's
I-
rare for me, you know that.
Like I will rewatch series, but I'll give myself like at least a year
Yeah.
or more because I don't
Yeah.
like. I love Community. I didn't,
Yeah.
and I watched it all on my own, and then it came out later on Netflix, Hulu, whatever.
Netflix.
I waited to watch it for a little bit because I wanted to let it sit a little
Marinate.
bit longer before I delved back in. So,
That makes sense.
but yeah. Dororo might have to wait a little bit, but you don't. Go watch Dororo now.
We've hyped it.
Yeah, this is an overall yay, I think, from everyone. Jujutsu Kaisen, win or lose today. Good
Go
anime.
watch it.
Go check it out.
Go watch it, yeah.
And go read it as well.
Yeah, I might have to read it at some point if I catch up too much.
I
Should.
am actually probably gonna go buy the manga soon.
Good for you.
I
Yay!
like it that much.
I want to talk theories with everyone, so you
Yes!
should read it.
Well, we can't do that here, but you know what we do need to talk about? Hunter Squared. Sorry.
Yes.
What did we call it?
It's Hunter.
Hunter
It's
X.
Hunter.
Hunter
Or you can
times
call-
Hunter.
Or you can use the Roman numeral 10, so it's Hunter 10 Hunter.
Hunter exponent Hunter.
Hunter by Hunter.
Hunter. Yes.
Hunter slash Hunter.
Okay.
My
There's
most
slash.
popular-
There's an
Poor
X. What is
Hunter.
an X? The slash is.
Doesn't that mean
No.
slash in like pairings, like shipping? Doesn't the X
Yeah.
slash?
Yeah.
I think I'm right.
Yeah.
This
I mean,
Hunter.
this would go
You're
for
not
both.
Shipped
wrong,
with
but I
This
don't
Hunter
know.
slash
I
this
don't know
Hunter.
that you're right.
I mean,
I-
there
is
is shipping.
There is
There is
shipping.
shipping.
It's like I feel like what he's saying is wrong, but I don't know enough about shipping to refute it.
Oh no. If you've seen the fandom, there is shipping.
This is like a
I'm
big
the-
shipping fandom, I think.
Okay, so that's a
Yeah.
lot of intro. So we watched Hunter x Hunter. Hunter
Yes.
Hunter,
Yes.
Hunter X, whatever the fuck you want to call it. And this is, again, we should remind everyone that this is the 2011, call it a remake, reboot,
Yeah.
readaptation.
It's a far more popular,
whatever
famous
you do.
version.
Yeah.
Has anybody seen the original? Guess
I've
not.
seen clips of it, but like
Doesn't really matter for
not
here.
full episodes,
I was just
yeah.
curious.
Oh yeah, I getcha. So the plot of this, we're following the travels, it seems, of a young boy named Gon.
Gone.
I don't know how to pronounce anything from this fucking show. He's a fisherman, at least that's what it seems to be to me, who caught a giant catfish crab and thus is allowed to go take the hunter's exam. And hunters are things in this world. And he's on a boat with a bunch of people, and a storm hits, and him and two other people and the crew, I guess.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, we're fine. We can handle this sort of rough terrain, not terrain, but like the choppy waters and all that sort of stuff. I'm thinking D&D for some reason. I feel like there's a reason to think about D&D and Hunter x Hunter, but they talk with the captain, and he's like, hey, guess what? I'm the first pseudo pre-exam quiz or whatever you got to deal with. I decide who takes the quiz and who doesn't, and they go into a little bit of their backstories, a little bit why they want to be hunters, and he's like, you three get to go to the exam. Oh, excuse me, I just had food. It's coming up now, like an hour into this or more. So yeah, they get to an island or the mainland, I'm not really sure, but they get to port, and they have to find their way to the exam because there's no map to the exam and no one knows the exact locations. They got to figure out where to go. Gong has a hint from the captain. He's like, hey, go to the giant tree in the middle of the woods. And so him and his two new buddies, forget the blonde
Karapika.
one's name, Karapika and Leorio Man. And
Or I just call him Matthew Mercer.
look, I'm having trouble with names this week. I couldn't do it with the last one. I'm not doing it here. Glasses and the blonde one. They're following. Gon's an easy name if you know how to pronounce it, and I don't. They go off in search of the big tree. They find a town with some weird fanfare going on, and they have a quiz for them. And it's a 1 or 2 answer thing. And they have to answer a question. It's essentially the thing from Monty Python. What is your favorite color? What is the airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow? And so one guy goes. He doesn't pass because he's a dummy. And the rest of them pass, and they go a different way. And then they find the tree and giant yellow jackrabbit fox people
Yes.
who
Yeah,
they
kind of, sort of.
air quotes fight with.
Yeah.
Yes.
Then it turns out they're the ones who are actually picking who gets to go to the final area for the exam. And so they make friends, they sprout bat wings, and then they fly off to another town.
Yep.
Am I high? Do I sound high? I'm probably high.
No, it's
Um,
anime.
You're not.
We do not endorse drugs yet. So they get to town, they go to a restaurant, order what sounds like a really nice steak dinner, and then get into a room that is actually an elevator that goes 100 floors down into a tunnel with a whole bunch of people and some dude who gives them laxatives, and then they go for a run.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's the show.
That's the show. At least the first 3 episodes.
I love
Yep.
your descriptions, Al. You need to do that for so many more shows in the future.
Maybe. We'll see what we get to. Dororo's going to be amazing. Anyway. Who's up next for plot? Who is next? Who went first for final thoughts? That was Gav, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's Yen's
I
turn.
believe you're up.
Okay, what's the first one? Plot?
Plot.
I thought the plot overall was pretty good. I thought it kind of had a sense of adventure, which I liked. I thought it went somewhere. It felt like they were going somewhere. I thought it got kind of slow at times. Like, the pacing was a little bit slower than I normally like, but I I don't know why I even feel that way, so it's kind of hard to describe. It just, at certain points, it just felt like I was watching something a little bit longer than it really was. But I think everything that happened was good, you know? Like, I have no complaints about, like, what was happening in the plot. Just sometimes the pacing felt a little off. Maybe, like, they had conversations that felt a little long or something. But that's just, like, a minor, like, quibble to me. It wasn't, like, a big deal in terms of the plot, but it felt a little long. That would be my major issue, but... So I'd say overall it was like a meh to soft yay on the plot. Probably a little bit more meh, but it was pretty okay.
Okie dokie, Chibi.
Okay, so for me, I'm gonna agree with Yin about pacing. Again, this is a shonen anime. And I feel this more is a little bit more of like a traditional kind of One Piece sort of shonen anime where like it's a little bit slower getting into things. Like I know Hunter x Hunter went on for a long time, or at least the manga went on for a while. So I wasn't really
done.
It's not done. Exactly.
No.
So
hiatus like
Yeah, I was
Berserk.
gonna ask.
Yeah, it's on hiatus.
So I wasn't really expecting us to like get anywhere really fast. It went a lot faster than One Piece, so that was better for it. As far as like the overall premise, I thought it was interesting. They are living in a world that's full of monsters, and there are these hunters who basically like they have to be certified, I guess, to be able to go out and hunt these monsters. So I was like, yay, this is more like sort of a paranormal-ish kind of thing, so this is also a little bit more up my alley. I will give this like a soft yay. It would have been like a little more of like a definite yay if they had like, if pacing was a little bit more, faster, but again, since I wasn't really expecting the pacing to be fast, I guess that's kind of just a thing. But yeah, so yeah, soft yay. Envy?
I do agree with you in the sense that unlike, Jujutsu Kaisen where it was like a more of a subversion on the standard shonen formula, this one's a lot more standard in that, you got the young boy that's out for, greatness, out for an adventure, trying to, be a hunter just like his dad because he wants to figure out why he wanted to be a hunter so bad. I will say this, though. While I think some scenes in the episodes may have been slow, I have to admit, I was actually surprised that they got to the actual start of the hunter exams at the end of episode 3. Like, I thought they were actually going to drag that out for, like, maybe 10 episodes or something like that. Like, the journey to get to the hunter exams. And I was surprised, and I think now granted I imagine the actual exam arc will be a lot longer than that, but
that's
as
probably
far as,
like the whole season.
but as
Yeah.
far as
I think that's kind of the point at that point. You
Is
build
it the
up so
whole
much.
season?
I have no idea. I've seen 3 episodes.
It's
But
the first arc.
Hey,
Okay.
spoilers
First
now.
season.
No, I was wondering though.
but as far as like the actual journey to get there, I was actually surprised it went on a, I don't want to say normal, but on a better flow pace than I thought. So yeah, I give it a yay for the plot.
Oh, right, I'm up.
Yeah.
Sorry, I keep thinking about Dororo. So I think I'm overall a yay on this. I think there's a clear goal in mind here, which I think is like something that we brought up a bunch of times is always good to have, at least for your beginning of your show. I should say, like, sometimes we're always like, oh, we need a hard goal or something, but like at the same time it's like, you can meander with your plot as you keep going, but like having a good starting point and a destination to begin with is good, and they clearly have that here. They introduced everyone pretty well. I'm trying to think of what to say that like hasn't been said. I kind of agree a little bit. It certainly goes a little bit slower than Jujutsu Kaisen did. But at the same time, I've definitely seen anime have a worse time starting off and go much slower. So, yeah, I mean, I'm certainly interested to see I'm a little more interested to see what the Hunter exam is going to be, but I understand, like, getting there and what the journey was. And I think it was good that they clearly showed the importance of whatever was going on. Like, we might not have been impressed upon how important this exam was had they just started at the exam. So, yeah, I think this for an intro to this, it was pretty decent. Pretty good. I give it a yay.
Yeah.
You're the one person, Gav, I think that's seen this show before.
Yeah.
This rewatch.
Yes. So Hunter x Hunter, I'm just gonna start off by saying is one of my absolute favorites. So my answers are gonna be very biased. But anyway, yeah. So the plot. I remember the first time I watched this. It was like, I was in London.
World
and-
traveler, when you could do that.
Yeah, when that was allowed.
That was like, what, the year
And-
before last?
It was like
2019? 18?
Maybe 2018.
it was
No.
like 2017,
Oh, damn.
I want to say.
You're way in the clear.
But anyway, so I watched Hunter x Hunter, and it was very good. Like I was kind of like expecting it to be pretty, like, a lot slower than it actually was. And whenever it, like, yeah, like everyone was saying, got to the like main portion of the, well, I guess not main portion, but like the actual like start where everyone has their numbers and stuff of the Hunter exam, and I was like, oh, okay, that was like pretty fast. I will say that, like, the pacing in this show, like, I already kind of, like, slipped up and spoiled or whatever, but, it's a little like BNHA, My Hero Academia, and the fact that, if anyone's ever seen that, like,
Yes.
a whole, like, thing, an arc is, like, a season,
Yeah.
so you're gonna get way more of the Hunter exam for a while. But the thing about Hunter x Hunter is that it's not just, like, stretched out. Like,
Like, it's
like
more
one-
concise.
yeah, it's like, for example, here's one episode, we're doing this one thing. Now this next episode, we're on to the next part of this exam doing another thing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, they were... I can see that. They
Yeah.
were definitely doing that in the first 3 episodes as well. It was separate things each time. For
Yeah.
Sure.
So I thought, like, the pacing was, like, fine. Because, well, I mean, mainly because I also know how the rest of it goes, so I'm kind of biased on that.
that information.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, whatever.
I'm gonna have my week. I know I'm
hard
gonna
not
have
to.
my week sometime
Yeah.
where I'm gonna be that person.
Yeah.
We all are.
But, I mean, I love the plot. I think it's great. Like, Gon is, like, going out there to figure out why the hell his dad left him. Why being a hunter was important enough that his dad left him with his, like, aunt or whatever.
That was
He went to
Ant,
go-
right?
Yeah,
it
that
was
was
his
his
aunt. He went to go get milk all those years ago and never came back.
Mhm.
And now Gon's gone. Gon got gone.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes. So there was that, and then Kurapika and Leorio, they have their own stuff going on, but we'll get more into that in characters. But I liked how they were, like, you get introduced to, like, all the main characters fairly quickly in this show. Even though they introduce more throughout all the arcs, like, there's so many characters in the show that are, like, considered, like, big characters that you'll meet.
Oh. Yeah.
Like a shonen.
Exactly.
Like a shonen.
Like a shonen.
But, like, of course, in, like, you see, you know, Gon and Kurapika and Leorio and stuff all in the opening, and then you meet them all within the first 3 episodes, and you meet Killua at the end of episode 3, and they're all just, the plots, I don't know, I'm going on a tangent
I was
here,
gonna
but-
say, I'm like, we're going into character
Like a shonen.
territory now.
Yeah,
Should
might as
we
well
just go to the next
I mean, you
section?
can get in there. Yeah. why
Yeah,
not?
who
That's
wants to
I'm
do that?
next.
Yeah, go for it.
All right, so Gon, our first protagonist that we meet, he's a fisherman. He's got a fishing pole, which I was like, that's an
And a
interesting...
hell of a hat.
That's an
yeah.
interesting weapon to have for a shonen anime, but I'll take it. He's basically your, typical upbeat protagonist. He's really happy, and he's really genuine, which is also very nice. He's not really that much of a goofball, which is also, like, kind of a bit of a different thing to see with a shonen protagonist, because it's just... like, you think about other ones that you've seen and you're just like, oh, this character's so goofy, but nah, this one's, like, just real sweet. I was just like, oh, baby boy.
He has a cinnamon roll.
He is a cinnamon roll. We get Kurapika, who's more the mysterious member of the trio. He does have a bit of, like, an interesting past. He wants to get revenge on, I want to say it's like a clan or a mob or something.
It's a clan.
His family.
Oh, it's like a mob. Well, it's a trope.
It's a
Sasuke backstory.
Okay.
Yeah, he has a Sasuke backstory.
Yeah,
Kind
that's
of.
that's what I figured. I'm like, this sounds very familiar now that I'm describing it to myself. Where have I heard this before? Yes, it's the Uchiha clan.
Does he have a brother? Does he have a brother? Please tell me he has a brother.
But anyways, Kurapika's, like, I guess, kind of interesting, if not sort of, like, more a little, like, I'm not gonna say one note. He's kind of what I expect from that sort of character, but he's also kind of like the no-nonsense kind of character of the group, which, given his backstory, I guess, like, kind of makes sense. And then we have Leorio, who is the definite goofball, who is apparently... like a field medic or something like that. Which I was like, oh, that's also an interesting thing to give this kind of character, because that is not something you expect from the goofball. You expect something else. Which I was like, oh, this is interesting. Okay, this is fine. And then we briefly meet Killua, who is the fourth member of our group that we'll get into later. All I know is kid's got a skateboard, and he apparently is immune to poison.
And he's albino.
But he's...
don't see that very often.
We don't really know much about him for now, but he seems like he'll be interesting. And then the only other sort of minor characters that we get throughout it are just kind of like, they're okay. I don't really have much to say about them. The only one that really stood out that I can really think of off the top of my head is Hisoka. And the only reason why I recognized him was because Gab has a picture of him in his room, and I'm just like, I remember this character. Who are you? Who are you with the weird face makeup? I'm like, I recognize him. But yeah, so I'm like, oh, he's gonna be an antagonist for this arc for sure, because of what they portrayed him as in the opening. So characters for right now, main cast is all good. Side characters are, just kind of there to be there. Antagonist is already introduced, so that's a good thing. So I'm anywhere from, like, a light yay to a yay, only because, like, I would have liked a little bit more stuff, I guess, with the other, like, little minor characters that we had throughout the episodes. Envy?
Gon, I think he's pretty standard for right now. I imagine he'll get more development and backstory the further we go along. But for the first 3 episodes, he's kind of, your, like I said before, your standard shonen protagonist. He wants to go on an adventure. He wants to, he has a goal in mind, which is admirable, and he is nice. And is it Kalepika? Is that how you pronounce his name?
Kurapika.
Yeah, Blondie. I liked him. I liked his interactions he had with the other characters. I thought that he was probably my favorite character that we've been introduced to so far. The other guy, what was his name again? Matthew
Leorio?
Mercer's character. Yeah, the only reason why I like him is because of his voice, which we'll get more to in the voice acting. But he's, your standard, your con artist slash, gambler that wants to make it big, but still has like, a soft spot and stuff like that. And as far as that antagonist, I know he's very infamous in the anime community. He's like one of the most famous modern anime villains of all time, but obviously we just got introduced to him, so we'll see we'll see what he does that's so worthy of his reputation. So I'm kind of a light yay. Yeah, I was just like...
I don't know any of you were talking about an antagonist. I don't know anything about that. But yeah, so yeah, a lot of these guys are a bit stock at the same time. It's like, I feel like we're gonna run into this a lot again, because I feel like I brought this up when we were talking about Jujutsu Kaisen. Another batch of kind of stock characters. But again, executed pretty well. I think my favorite was the Oreo man. What was his name?
What?
The Oreo.
The Oreo.
The Oreo. The
He
Oreo.
sounds like a Mario character.
The Oreo.
He does.
Oh,
But I
wait.
that.
He looks
We'll
like
talk about that
a
with
Waluigi with those limbs.
He does not have nearly the nose or the mustache or the raw sexual charisma.
You're right. You're so right. You're right, and you should say it.
Yeah. But yeah, I enjoyed him. I think you're right. We are seeing some things that we have seen before, but at the same time, we're seeing things we haven't seen before. A fighter who uses a fishing pole. I've probably seen a con man medic in some movies before, but maybe not in anime. The Blondie's a little more on the nose of like, I am the stoic monk type who comes from martial arts background, an order, clan of whatever. I just go monk or something.
All right, whatever you say.
Yeah, well, I don't know what he actually is. I'm just saying monk because like I've been thinking about a lot of D&D stuff lately. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's that sort of disciplined background kind of thing.
Yeah.
And we get to see some other characters. I enjoyed the captain. You guys didn't talk about as much about the side characters, other than apparently some antagonists that we.
So you're
that we got to
telling
see.
me you don't know about the villain?
I only
think
have
you're
to
lying.
work with what I have presented
Yes.
in front of me.
But
Episodes
you
1,
can't
2, and
tell
3.
You know.
that he's the villain from the opening.
Look,
I think they
could
make
tell-
it very clear.
I could tell the moment the guy walked up and started offering juice that he was going to be the bad guy. Okay,
Oh
I
my
knew
god.
it. But that's
You're just messing with people now.
no. I know that the clown is the bad guy. It's a clown.
Thank you.
Look,
Yeah.
but what do I have to work with it? He just seems like a dick. He turned a guy's arms into petals because some guy bumped into him.
You're
Sure,
really trying
he
not to
sounds
be
petty.
spoilery.
He sounds petty. Which pettiness, depending on how powerful you are when you're petty, can be very dangerous. I've seen there's a lot of characters out there who like are just awful because they're just shits. They're not even like, I have a dastardly plan. They're just like, I just don't like you. Dead. But yeah, I thought like even the side characters were pretty good here because like I got a sense of like, for as short a time as we had them, who some of the other contestants were a little bit, some of which we will probably get to see a little bit more of, some of which we might not. The sea captain, I liked him. He seemed to have a sense of who he was and what he was doing, and he kind of helped to set the tone a little bit for like what the exam was going to be moving forward, and some of that. So like I feel like everyone had a pretty good just characterization overall. So I give them a yay, I think, on this one. I wasn't in love with Gon, if I'm being honest. He was the most kind of stock to me. Not in a bad way. He's got a lot of good qualities, but at the same time, he's a little white bread. Like just kind of plain toast.
Milk toast.
A little bit. Milk toast. He's a little milk. Actually, I think that might mean weak. Not necessarily like, I don't want... Yeah, I'm sure
Why are
he
people
gets...
laughing?
I don't know. I guess I'm saying something controversial.
No, I just like that
part of it-
analogy of white bread.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's white bread. Yeah, I know he's the main character, so later on we will probably get to learn a lot more about him. But like, yeah, I don't know. He was just kind of. I don't think I know anything about him, other than he uses a fishing pole and his dad left. Yeah, but overall,
Okay.
yay.
All right, I'll give you that. That's fair. You don't really know a whole lot about Gon because he's kind of like pure and innocent, and at least right now. And
Oh, he gets naughty later, I bet.
Mm.
How nasty do you want it?
Oh no.
Not here.
yeah, not here.
I should not be saying that about a character like that.
He's like 3 feet tall.
Yeah, I got a bit of a Vegeta thing going on with that hair too.
No.
You see,
He's a child.
I love Gon so much. He's probably one of my favorite protagonists. He's such a little cinnamon roll, and he's so pure-hearted and good, and I just want to protect him with everything I have.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't think he needs your protection. The only reason he got into the exam was his. How did they describe it? Your incomprehensible power.
Yeah, he really
Your
doesn't need my
inconceivable
help.
power.
Yeah, he'd be protecting me, let's be honest. But Kurapika is good. He just gets better and better.
It's shonen that the whole idea is they keep getting better and better.
They just keep getting better and better. So I'm not gonna talk about those guys as much because I don't want to like spoil any more than I already have. But they're good, and I love them so much. And I think we are forgetting the real enemy here, which is as Tonpa said. Yeah, Juice Man, as Juice
Wait,
Man
really?
said.
I got it?
No.
Oh, shit.
Shut up. Listen to me. Which is, as Tonpa said, number 187, Nicholas.
Oh, dude with a computer.
Was that the little slick back hair kid?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
This kind of seemed like a douche to me.
Okay, listen.
Does he become the big bad?
He was prepared.
I cracked up so hard at that line. But I was just because I didn't remember like Shorty's name. Like I was like, okay, who's this guy? Like, because I watched it before. I had watched the subbed, so I didn't remember anyone's name. But hearing it out loud's different. But yeah, no, I hate Tonpa. Tonpa's a little shit.
Okay, now, are we talking about Computer Kid or Juice
That's
Man?
Juice guy.
Juice
right?
Man.
Juice Man, okay. I
Juice
was right, he
Man.
was the villain. Technically speaking, he's the only villain we've really seen so far.
I loved Hisoka from the moment I first saw him.
I
I
could tell.
he is just like my aesthetic, like.
You into clowns?
I
I mean, I'm judging a little bit, but, you know.
I'm
More
thinking more
specifically-
so court jesters. I
Yeah,
think
I'm into
that's
court
the aesthetic.
jesters. Yeah, I like court jesters.
Have you seen the movie?
No, not yet, but I want to.
Oh, you should. It's a good movie.
but-
When did that come out? Way back in, like, the 60s or something, right?
It's old.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love court jesters. So Hisoka, from the moment I saw him, I was like, oh yes, I'm going to love this character. And I do. He's great. But yeah, I guess that's all I can really say about the I guess alright. Well, I don't know if this goes more into animation or characters, but I think the character designs are a lot of fun because they're very different. Like you
I kind
don't
of feel like that's a little more animation where we usually talk about
It
that a little
is,
bit,
I
but
would
feel
think.
free, I guess.
Okay, well, I'll get into that then. So, alright. Yeah, but I give it a yay. I love the characters.
Cool.
Okay.
Yin?
Was there any,
I think
you're
it's
next,
me.
right?
You're
Yeah.
about to skip me.
I
weren't you?
sometimes forget where we are sometimes.
No, it's
I'm not
cool.
smart.
No, it's cool. I liked the characters overall. I really liked the blonde kid, I don't know
Blondie.
his name. Blondie and the glasses got Leorio.
Oreo Man.
I liked their bickering and everything. I thought that they had some good clashes, like their ideologies and why they want to be a hunter. I thought was pretty interesting. And I thought they had pretty good like chemistry as characters. And I liked them individually too. They had clear goals. They had their own little things, and I did like that he was more of a medic, because that wasn't what I expected, kind of like what Chibi said, from a character like that. I kind of was along the lines of Al's thoughts in terms of Gon, just that I didn't really get much from him in the first 3 episodes, and I feel like he probably does get more developed later on. Like, I can see a potential for that. Like, there's gotta be something going on with the dad. Like, there's no way he just doesn't care. I don't know. Like, they'll probably develop that more. And I feel like, I don't know, maybe I'll get to know him better as a character. I just feel like I really don't know much about him right now. Like, I don't know what he likes or dislikes or anything really, except he wants to be a hunter. But at least he has, like, a goal and everything. So I'd say overall, he's kind of, like, cute and nice. I just want to know more about him. So I didn't like him as much as the other 2 main characters I saw, but I liked him enough to keep, like, watching him and seeing where he goes. I liked the little hint we got of the white-haired kid. I think he seems like he might be interesting. Like, they teased enough to make me wonder, okay, like, why are you, like, immune to poison and stuff? Like, I'm curious about him, which is good.
He's actually a venomous toad.
Something like that. I don't know. We'll see. He's got something going on. I just feel like he's powerful or something. I don't know. But
dude, white-haired characters always powerful.
He's white-haired, yeah. So
yeah,
and he has a
skateboard,
skateboard, you know. Yeah. He's got something, so he made me kind of interested. And I feel like I know him and Gon are like really popular as like a sort of partnership, friendship, ship,
Hunter x Hunter.
Whatever you want to call it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I'm guessing they're shipped together a lot or whatever. Like, I'm sure they have like good chemistry like together. So I think maybe he'll bring out more in Gon or something that I might be interested in seeing. So yeah, I'm excited for like white-haired dude if I get to see him.
Hell yeah.
And then I thought the side characters were good for just moving the plot along. I know that the clown dude is an antagonist, I'm not gonna lie. So, he seemed, like, interesting aesthetically and everything, and I can tell he'll probably be, one of those characters you love to hate or whatever. So I think overall... or just love, I don't know, but,
depends how nasty you want it.
Yeah, I think so. Seems like he might get pretty nasty.
Oh, someone likes it nasty.
But overall, I would say that I'd give the characters a yay. I just want to see like more from Gon, but I think it's a yay overall.
Was that everyone on characters?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. World building. Who's up next?
Envy.
I kind of it felt like to me the world building felt like the middle ground between One Piece and Fairy Tail, where they definitely had a big, well, not a big, but they had an exposition introduction to get you to the basic setup of the world, but it wasn't like like it wasn't extreme like Fairy Tail was. So I think they did a good job setting up the basic premise of the world. I mean, granted, they're called hunters and they don't go into too much more detail on what else they hunt besides, I'm sure they hunt a bunch of creatures, but is there different kinds of hunters? I think did they talk about like at the beginning about like if they have like bounty hunters or like hunters for other stuff besides creatures?
Vaguely, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so yeah, but as far as like I like the idea of going through different trials just to get to the hunter's exam, but it almost kind of reminded me of like Star Wars, like going through the Jedi trials or something like that, just in a different way. So I think the world building is pretty good, so I give it a yay.
Yeah, I kind of agree with some of the stuff you're saying, where like it is kind of that vague fantasy world that we kind of saw both, yeah, in One Piece and Fairy Tail a little bit. Um, and yeah, I like that they put information out there without going into heavy lore dumping and stuff like that. At the same time, I'm a little meh on the world building because I don't feel like I get it. And I think that has a lot to do with the hunters. I know that hunters hunt things. Like, there's monsters, and they mentioned hunting people and treasure. I guess I just don't get why anyone needs to be a hunter. Because
I mean, they said
feel
that
like
it pays a lot,
bring that
though.
up. Yeah. Well, but why do you need to be a hunter to get paid to do the exact same thing? Like, Blondie wants to kill people who killed his family. Why do you need to be a hunter to do that? Just go do that. I think Oreo said the same thing.
I mean, that
Oreo.
person's just called an assassin. Let's be real
yeah,
here.
I
Maybe
mean,
you
like,
get the legal, but maybe you get a license to kill if you're a hunter. Whereas if you kill someone, if you're not a hunter, you get thrown the slammer.
maybe, but they didn't really explain that, and I feel like if that was true, I mean that he could have just been like, I need a license to kill. I mean, I would have been like, okay, yeah, that totally makes sense. But or like if you want to be a treasure hunter, why do you need to be a certified hunter to do that? Why, like one dude, the ninja guy, was looking for a ninja scroll. Why are you here instead of looking for that? I'm kind of withdrawn here. I don't know why people want to be hunters. Like, I kind of wish there was just a little bit more of an explanation, whether it was their organization, who runs them, something like that, to kind of help me along with it, because I don't think I get it. It's clearly not for like one country, because they go all over the world, so it's not tied to any one single government, I guess, which means it's an international organization. Okay, who runs it? Is it a private, like, paramilitary thing? Is it a company? Is it a charity? Is it... I just not sure I understand.
Gav's
And
just
the
sitting back
certification
there.
thing. No,
like,
I know.
knowing all
As
the
soon as I'm done,
answers.
like, as soon as he's up, he's gonna start going off. But like, I'm just setting up. I'm setting you up really to answer my questions, I guess, if you can, based on the first 3 episodes. Because I'm just like, I don't. Is it a union thing? Is it like you get better jobs because you're a certified hunter versus you're not certified? I guess I'm just really confused. Like, why is... I know being a hunter is important. This first 3 episodes has impressed on me so much that being a hunter is a big deal. But why? And that's kind of my problem. That's why I'm a meh. A lot of it, I feel like this is a well set up world, but like its key point, the hunters, I don't get. So meh for me, honestly. Gav, tear me a new asshole. How nasty do you want it?
Okay. All right. So, a hunter is, well, yes, they're licensed. They basically hunt as you said.
I could tell that from the name.
Yeah, as you said, they hunt like animal species, like treasure hunting. They explore. They hunt down lawless individuals.
It's just, it feels... I'm sorry, I'm interrupting you.
No, go for it.
It just feels very broad. Like,
It is very broad.
like in certain things, it's like, if this was about bounty hunting, like Cowboy Bebop, be like, okay, bounty hunting. You don't really have to tell me any more about that. I understand how this sort of thing is supposed to work. Or if you're monster hunting, cool, great. It just seems like literally they're just an organization for, if you want to find something, find something. But I'm like, I feel like you could just have subgroups and like actual individual organizations for each of these things. Why is it all one big conglomerate? I don't get that.
Yeah, it doesn't really explain it well in the first 3 episodes.
Yeah.
And it's a little like confusing, so I can see why you'd be like meh on it. Because there's a lot like you can't really get about the background just from the first like arc. Or the first 3 episodes, but even the first arc. But it's kind of, I mean, they do explain it, but I'm not gonna go into like more specifics because I don't want to, give away everything in case you do decide to watch it. But I mean, if we're going by the first 3 episodes, like, the world building is, like, yeah, kind of, like, not that great, just because they don't really explain much, but as it goes along, it gets a lot better, I assure you.
Okay. So what's your
But-
opinion on it then?
And remember,
I mean-
we're only going by the first 3 episodes. So,
If we're only going by the first 3 episodes, let me think. It's
Hard
so,
to separate sometimes.
It's
Yeah.
so hard to separate. Like, it really is.
That's why I feel so good about these weeks. It's like I have nothing going in.
Yeah.
I am totally confident in everything that I'm saying. I am
Yeah.
not going to be that way a couple other weeks.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, it's very difficult to say. Like, I don't know. I'd give it more towards, like, because they don't really tell you about the islands or, like, the places they're going to.
Oh, quick question.
Mm-hmm.
Did they go to an island or is that the mainland?
I think it's a bunch
So-
of, like, islands, like,
Okay, so it's One Piece, kind
okay.
of.
yeah.
Yeah, because we started off on an
Ah.
island.
Yes,
and
I
then
wasn't
we went
sure
to
whether-
another island.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
you
a bigger
start-
island, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, it might be the mainland. I honestly can't remember the geography of places very well. Like, that's, like, something I struggle with everything I watch. I'm like, where are we at again?
We're at this part of the plot.
This is why we can't find our way around a convention center.
Yeah, you're right.
Speak for
I'm
yourself, I can.
always the one getting lost. But yeah.
Well, it also doesn't it doesn't excuse me. It also doesn't help when the maps that they put up in said convention center don't actually lead you to the places that they say they do.
Yeah.
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 But I mean, like, I'm still a yay on the world building. I just don't know if I'd be, like, a strong yay, because it's, like, hard to say, you know, what exactly is going on in the world just based on the first 3 episodes. But yeah.
Yin,
Yeah.
is that your opinion?
No, I was just starting.
Oh, sorry.
So I kind of agreed with Al on certain things. Like, it was sort of vague to me. I didn't fully understand what was going on with the hunters or really the world in general. Like, I'm not sure how the world works or who exists in this world. Like, I know there are monsters. I don't know what kind of monsters. I think everyone's a human, but I don't know.
Giant yellow
Giant yellow bat things.
jackalopes.
I don't know. Yeah, but there's gotta be others, but I just I don't know exactly, like, what this world is, so I think it was a little confusing. At the same time, I like that they didn't lore dump me or give me a bunch of exposition. Sometimes I'd prefer to just go along with it and see what happens, so I think that part was a plus. I think it was just, like, the vagueness of not knowing what the hunters are or really how their world operates or their society operates that I think kind of, like, messed me up a little bit. But I think the smoothness of them not telling me everything right away helped. So I'd give it more of a meh. I wouldn't straight up give it a nay because, like I said, I'm glad it wasn't exposition-y, but I would like to know a little bit. You know, I'd like to understand what's going on. So it's a meh for me.
Okay. So I'm also, like, fully in agreement with Al and Yin, because the idea of getting a hunting license in this world is very vague. And I was sort of like, okay, I know they're all going to the hunter's exam, but why are they all taking the same exact exam to get a hunting license if everyone is going to be a hunter for different things? And I guess it was just also more of the fact that, like, I would have preferred to learn a little bit more about that and just like their world in general. I would like, and I'm gonna go back to Jujutsu Kaisen because they did this really well. Little nugget here, little nugget here, little nugget here, little one here, another one here. Oh, another. I don't know. I just would have like, yes. I would have just preferred to like get like little bits of information just handed to me, like kind of maybe from characters like Kurapika or Leorio, because they're also taking the exam, and I feel like they have a better understanding of like what it means to be a hunter than obviously Gon does. So I would have preferred if maybe they were to like sort of explained it a little bit more to him, just to like help us as the audience like kind of get our bearings in this world a bit more. But yeah, I'd have to say it's a meh for me too, unfortunately.
Okay. Envy, did you start or are you going next?
No, I started.
Okay, all right. So it's kind of looking like a little bit meh, but leaning yay-ish on overall. So yeah, let's move on into the next subject. Art and animation. Am I up on this?
Yep, you're
Yes.
first.
Yep.
Yeah. It's
Okay,
you.
all right. Art and animation. I think the art style of this, I think it works for me. It's kind of got that. God, I'm losing my words now. Damn. Okay. I feel like this one. I hate to say, I'm gonna have to compare it to Fairy Tail a little bit. It's in that kind of, again, that vague pseudo high fantasy kind of world. It feels like, but this one doesn't feel like a hodgepodge. This one feels like it's old world of magic that's slowly starting to become modern, which is why you see more people in like suits and stuff like that, to the point where it's like, yeah, the eccentric people, kind of like Blondie, they only look like that because of a specific set of things that, like, I understand why you look this way, versus everyone else is kind of wearing more modernish clothes. You were brought up differently, but that's specific to you. And it almost feels like a little more implied in this than it was in Fairy Tail. But so I feel like everything fits to some degree a little bit better. And yeah, I think it was pleasant to look at a lot of stuff. It's a bit simpler, which a lot of shonen to some degree have to be, I think, because like you're drawing so friggin' much throughout the series that it's like, yeah, let's keep the basic character designs kind of simple. But they're good, they're clean, I like them. The animation was pretty smooth for the most part. Fight scenes were good, if not a little sparse, so I can't really judge it too much on its fighting or anything like that for a shonen right now. But yeah, I think overall it's pretty good. I give it a yay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So like I had started saying before, I really like the character designs in this. I think that like everyone looks like unique in a way that's not too out there, I guess you could say. Like kind of like you were saying with Fairy Tail Al, it's like they don't look like they're a hodgepodge. But they still all have like a unique style to them that like makes them memorable characters, and I like that a lot. I also like the more like simplistic, like kind of like cutesy art style too that they got going on. Like there's a point where like Gon is confused and he has like the simple like just circles on his face for his eyes, and like the line is like his mouth or whatever, and I just really enjoy that a lot in animation where they kind of like are quirky like that. So yeah, and there's not a whole lot to go on so far for like, you know, I guess fights, but from the rest of it, not giving spoilers away, like
This is tough for you, I know.
it's so hard. It's so hard. it's like the world and like the settings and like the scenes and stuff I think are all very nice. Like I think they did a good job with that, like not like overcomplicating it, but like it also still looks really nice. So I mean I'm a yay for animation for sure. So Shipping.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, it's Yin's turn.
Yeah. I liked the animation overall. I think it was kind of simple. It didn't wow me or anything. Like, definitely if I'm comparing it to... And it was a few years ago, so it's hard to compare it to something like Jujutsu Kaisen, which is more recent, so I'm not going to. But,
Yet.
not yet, because, I mean...
We'll get there.
it would kind of be rough comparing it to something that is more recent. But I think the character designs were the strong point to me, because they all do look distinct. I mean, Gon, I think, despite what I said about being unsure about his personality, I think his character design is very memorable. Like, you'd know him immediately. And I think everybody else was designed pretty well, too. So I would say, overall, the animation's pretty good, though it didn't amaze me or anything. So I'd give it, like, a soft yay.
Okay. Yeah. I'm also gonna have to give it a soft yay. Animation's pretty to look at. It's not hard on the eyes. Character designs are all good, I guess. I don't really have a whole lot to say about it, just because, like, I feel, and as we've been saying, like, I feel like certain characters' clothing styles all, like, have to do with their backgrounds. Gon's style is very, I will say unique, because all green outfit, little boots, and I'm just like, this is an interesting choice, but okay, child.
I kind of wish he kept the hat, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, the hat was great.
That was a great hat.
That was a statement.
But, yeah, I don't really have a whole lot to say about this, but it is, like, a more of a soft yay. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the show is going to be 10 years old this year, and I still think it holds up for the most part. I mean, I've definitely seen worse in the last couple of years of worse animated shows, so.
We all have.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I really don't have much to say either. I think it's a well-animated show, so I give it a yay.
Okay. Well, from the visual, let's move along into the auditory. So the sound and dubbing of this one. I think Gav's leading us off, right? Did I go first last time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, sound and dubbing. Okay.
Sound and dubbing.
So I actually, when I watched this the first time, I watched the subbed, and I really enjoyed the sub, so I was like curious to see what the dub would be like this, for my first time watching it. And I actually really enjoyed the dub. I was afraid that I wouldn't, because I like was coming in with like knowing what it sounded like, in the Japanese. But it was good. I thought the voices for like the characters were fitting. I was like very like some of the ways they just said things, like for example when Tonpa was like, and number 187 Nicholas, and I don't know
Good
why,
inflection.
but I thought it was just so funny, and I lost my shit because I was just like, the way he's saying it is just like, this is the scum of the earth, and he did just like, I don't know, but I like Gon's voice. Like, I think it's fitting for his character. Kurapika is fitting. Leo Rio, Matt Mercer, of course, you got to give it to him. My boy, my man. And then you got Hisoka, who I was just like he has
Did
such
he have
a good
line?
Yeah, he did.
Okay.
yeah.
He had a few.
He had such a good voice actor in the subbed, and then to hear him in this one, I was like, oh, he also has a good voice actor in this one. And it just was very fitting for him. And I think the dubbing was just very fitting for like most of the characters, and I like can't say that about a lot of other dubs, especially like ones where I've seen the sub first. I'm always like, usually, like this is like could be better. This character sounds a little odd or whatever. But I really enjoyed it, and I love the music in Hunter x Hunter. I won't get into the opening or endings yet, but yeah, so it's a yay for me on the sound and dubbing.
Yeah, I'd agree overall that the dub voices really match the characters pretty well. So I think across the board, the dubbing was pretty good. Not much stuck out to me in terms of lines or anything, but I think they all did well. Like, I wouldn't have changed any of the voices necessarily. Like, I can't think of somebody where I was like, that didn't fit or that ruined it for me. So, yeah, I think everybody did pretty well, so I'd give it a yay overall. It's pretty good.
Okay. I'm gonna be the contrarian here.
Go ahead.
There's always one.
I mean, here's the thing, and this is gonna be like a thing for me when it comes to like even just first time watching a show, and my first time watching a show is watching it dubbed. For some odd reason, not all the voices always sound good to me. Like, they'll sound a little off, and I don't know if it's just because given the face, I'm expecting something a little bit different, like what I said with Megami and Nobara from Jujutsu Kaisen. Everyone to me sounded a little off, and I don't know why I think that. I think it's just my brain heard the voices and paired it with the faces, like this voice could be slightly deeper, this voice could be also slightly deeper, this voice could be a little bit different, this tone could be a bit different. For me, when it comes to English voice acting, I get very, very picky. Just because, like, a lot of times when you get, like, American cartoons, like, voice acting is always, like, pretty spot on, and I know it's, like, really hard to do that when it's something that's coming from a different language. But I don't know, it's a thing with me, and I don't really know what else to say about it. The only one that I really actually thought was really spot on was Tonpa. And Nicholas, yes, was a very good line. But yeah, so score.
I mean, you
also,
didn't like Matt Mercer?
The thing is like, Matt Mercer's a really good voice actor. I just, for whatever reason, I thought his voice could have worked for Leorio a little bit better had he made it just slightly deeper by just a little teensy bit. I don't know, just me. As I said, I'm very picky about that kind of stuff. And I don't know if it's just, like, for me, auditory, it's just, like, it's gotta be hitting the nail right on the head, or I'm just gonna be like, no thank you. As far as the score goes, I can't really remember the music, so I'm sorry. It's gonna be an A for me.
You know, honestly, Chibi, I kind of agree with you in some aspects. Like, well, I'm going to be probably a little bit more nitpickier than you. Well, it's kind of weird. Like, as far as Matt Mercer is concerned, I thought he was really good. I didn't have a problem with him. And the other two cast members, they are pretty good voice actors that voice them. Erica Mendez voices Gon. If you don't know her, look up her filmography. She's done a ton of stuff.
She's done Retsuko from Gretzko. That's her.
And then,
that's Ryuko, too.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
And then the other person, it was Erica Harlacher, who's done a lot of other stuff, too. I think they're good voice actresses, and I think they did well. my big problem with them is that I thought this is going to kind of sound not serious, but like I felt like Erica Mendez didn't do volume control when she was speaking as Gon, because like everything was like shouty at the top pitch. It was like, you can calm down, Gon. Like you don't have to yell everything you say. and then as far as Erica Harlatcher, again, she's a great voice actress. I think she did well. I don't know if I'm going to sound offensive by saying this, but I don't know if I would have gone that feminine with his voice. Maybe she could have done it a little bit lower pitched, but that's just me. So I'm kind of a meh with the voice acting. Although the side characters did have good lines too. And on a personal note, that Nicholas line kind of irked me a little. But that's kind of yeah, that's kind of
that's a personal thing for you.
Yeah, kind of, for those that know me in my real life. I'm kind of a meh with the voice acting. Good cast, overall decent job, but I think some things could have been done better.
I think I'm kind of a yay on it. I didn't have a whole lot of standouts personally for me, but I didn't think anyone like did to a bad job or anything. I kind of disagree with you. I think Gon kind of worked with the kind of shouting everything. He's excited. I can at least tell that about his personality. He is excited to be doing what he's doing. So I kind of felt like that was appropriate. But to be fair, like he's also the protagonist of a shonen. If he's not shouting, what is he doing?
Yeah.
Like,
Let's be real here.
Yeah. Outside of that, the definite standout for me, Chibi, like it was Matt Mercer for me. I thought
again, I'm sorry. I don't know.
He felt the most in character, honestly.
Yeah.
Like
I'm not saying that he wasn't in character. I'm just saying that
maybe for me, like I know you're saying like the face didn't match the voice to you.
Mm-hmm.
Like the personality absolutely matched the voice.
No. Personality matched totally. It's just pitch wise. Pitch is like the thing that like if your personality matches, good. If your pitch doesn't match, that's the thing that's gonna make me go, eh.
So would you prefer higher, lower?
Yeah,
I
that's what I'm
prefer
wondering.
lower for most of
I
these
could kind of see that because, like, to some degree, I could have seen him a little bit personality-wise and a little bit like just character design-wise. He reminds me of Maze Hughes from Full Metal Alchemist.
Okay.
See, the thing
bit.
is, though, is he's young. Leo Rio is young.
No,
Like,
that's the
I
thing.
get
Like,
that.
I know that Maze Hughes was like older. He was a dad. He was a very happy dad. But like, yeah, he had a bit of a deeper voice. I could see Matt Mercer being the younger Maze Hughes, like in the form of Leorio.
Yeah, I like the
And
thing
that's
is
kind of,
like
I think that's what worked for me.
I don't really think that like my whole thing is like I want like it turned down like a lot. I just want like slightly lower, slightly, and that goes for all three of our main casts that we've been introduced to so far.
They're
Like
children.
I
Children
understand.
on the verge of puberty are going to have their voices go up and down a little bit and seem a little deeper than they should at certain moments of their life. Believe me, I can tell you that.
I understand that, but at the same time, I'm just like, I feel Gon's voice could be a slightly lower. Karapika's slightly lower. Again,
Wait,
like
deeper?
deeper,
Or-
yeah.
It's just like if you
So
listen...
you don't want going up here, you want going down here.
No, it's just, as I said, just a slight increment lower. In
See,
pitch.
if you listen to the sub, like to the Japanese, like I think you would disagree because their voices are higher pitched in the Japanese.
Oh, I'd hate it. I'd hate it. Ugh.
Like, so honestly, like I think the reason why I like the dub so much is because I was like, oh, like they don't sound like super like as like and don't get me wrong, like I love the Japanese like version, like, and I think they did a good job voice acting in that one too, but like I definitely feel like their voices weren't as high pitched in this dub, so that may have helped me a bit with it.
Oof. I might
Yeah,
not
I could-
like the sub very much then if it's coming from like a vocal perspective.
Yeah, but Yeah, for me overall, the voicing I think is a yay. And I didn't really get a whole lot from some of the other like side characters in that, the captain, but like, well, no, I got stuff from the captain, but like a lot of the other side characters was just kind of like one or two lines. We didn't get a whole lot out of them, so I couldn't really speak to them in character either. But like, it felt a little bit like, especially for like the ones that were probably nowhere going to come back, it did feel like that barroom fight in Fairy Tail where you're kind of showcasing everyone for like 2 seconds, and I was kind of going like, okay, I am getting a bit of a sense of each character based on what you're saying and how you're saying it. So I think overall, because of that, and because of like, I think they were intoning their characters very well through what they were doing. I'm a yay on this. So, yeah. Was that everybody? What's next? What's next after? Oh yeah, openings and endings, right?
Yeah.
Who's leading this one? Who started the last one?
Was it Gav?
Oh god, we've gone round and round. Wait,
Uh,
I was the last one on this one, which means Gav started. You're next.
Yeah.
Okay. I actually really loved the opening for this. I think I've heard it a few times before, and then I heard it this time, and I was like, oh my god, this was the amazing opening that I've heard before. So I was like, oh, that's where it came from, because I've just heard it on, those playlists you play in the background of just anime openings sometimes,
Yeah.
and you don't really check which anime it is all the time, but it comes up, and I just always really liked it, so I'm glad to know what it is. But yeah, I don't really remember the visuals very well, but the song, man, that's gotta go up there as one of the best anime openings. I think it's really good. So I'm gonna have to give it a hard yay on the opening. I don't really remember the ending that well.
It was like
what?
a bit of screamo.
It was
Yeah.
a little.
Oh yeah,
Death Note
it was
Part 2.
kind of like Death. Yeah. Yeah, that was all right. Like, it wasn't bad or anything, but it wasn't the greatness of the opening. So it was like, it was pretty good though. But I mean, even if it was shitty, I would still have to give it a yay for the opening. So it's a yay overall. Like, great opening.
Okay. So I'm gonna be the exact opposite answer
Really?
of Yin. Well,
How
okay.
dare you?
No, here's the thing.
Cuba
Overall,
got some problems with Hunter x Hunter.
Yeah.
no. Okay,
The opening's
so overall for openings and endings as a score, just in general, it's a soft yay. Now, what I
forgot to mention
mean
that in my
by
sound
that
part.
is
Shit.
opposing scores is the fact that I was meh on the opening. It's nothing special to me. It sounds like a shonen opening. It didn't really catch me. I wasn't enthused. The ending, however,
Interesting.
I'm like, yes, this is a song I would download and definitely listen to because, I mean,
Just gives you
Gav,
an screamo.
you kind of know the sort of stuff I used to listen to when I was younger, so this kind of goes along with that. So, yeah. I like the ending a lot more than I like the opening, and honestly, like, I would only, like, continue watching the episode through to the end to listen to the ending because I liked it.
Wow. Harsh.
Wah, wah.
Uh,
And
I like the opening song. I don't remember the visuals too much, but maybe because I only watched it a couple times. I need to probably watch it a little bit more to get, a feel for it. But yeah, I like the song. It is a very, classic song in terms of like modern anime openings. The ED visuals I thought were pretty generic. Okay, the song, I didn't care for it, but yet again, I didn't care for the second Death Note opening song either. I know it's iconic for its weirdness, but sometimes I like screamo, sometimes I don't. Who am I kidding? Most of the times I hate
someone who likes
screamo.
screamo.
Yeah, screamo's my least favorite genre of music. So
Oh, I'm sad.
So, I mean, I like the second Death Note opening for the meme that it is because it's so batshit insane, but the actual song itself, I'm like, what am I listening to? It's like I'm listening to a bunch of people gargling marbles or something like that.
Wow.
That's why I liked it.
Damn, tell us how you really feel.
But So I'm kind of a meh. Like the opening, don't like the ED.
The first Death Note opening is really iconic.
Oh,
it
yeah.
is
Had
good.
a really good
That is
opening.
good.
Dororo.
Oh my god.
The first OP. The second
It's
OP is not as
true.
good.
Oh,
Not
but
as
it was
good, but it's still pretty
good.
solid.
I still like the second one.
Yeah.
But the first one's just so good.
Oh, yeah. That's a fucking banger.
Anyway, enough about Dororo.
Yeah. Oh, my turn. I want a quick side note for me. Well, not a side note, but I want to kind of go back to sound and dubbing. I did not mention. I did like the score from this. I forgot to mention that. I like the classical kind of pseudo classical music sort of deal that they were going with, and I felt that really worked for the show and what it was. Opening and ending. Kind of like what you guys are saying. I feel like we're like this is almost. I'll get into that later. I did not remember the visuals that much. It just seemed like clips from the show and whatnot. As you know, that's not exactly what it was, but it did kind of felt like that a little bit. That opening got in my head for a long time. I don't remember the second one as much. I do remember vaguely its genre, but that first one.
Just
that,
replace
that
it with
really
the
caught me a
Death
little
Note
bit.
opening too, and see what
You know,
happens.
I don't know if they match up. Maybe we'll look at it
It's like-
sometime.
yeah, that'd be an interesting mashup.
But yeah, I think overall, I'm a soft yay on it. I think overall, yeah, I think that's all I got for it.
Okay. Departure, which is the opening, is one of my favorite openings in the whole world.
It's so good.
It's so good. Like, it's under, I have, like, a favorites, like, song playlist, just in case anyone is ever like, oh, tell me some of your favorite songs, and I'm like, here, let me just give you a playlist. And that and the Code Geass, like,
Which one? They're all good.
They are all good.
Colors.
The
by
first
Flow.
one?
Yeah.
Have you heard the rest of them?
No.
Dude, hear the rest of them. It's one of those rare anime where it's got 5 openings, but they're all good.
But the first
Yeah.
one might be the best.
It's definitely the most iconic.
Yeah.
Anyway, those two, that and Departure, are my favorite.
And Dororo.
I've never seen Dororo.
One day.
One day.
You know what? I'm just gonna have to show you the opening to it at the
Okay.
end when we're done
Yes.
recording because we're just gonna
It's
have to. I've
good.
talked about it too much.
Yeah.
But I love Departure so much, like, in the whole, like, you can smile again, and I'm just like, yes, get it, do it, shout those
Get that
English,
smile.
yeah, shout those English lines, and, like, every time they, like, do, I'm, like, belting it right there with them. Yeah, so I really love the opening. And then the ending, I didn't remember how the ending went until I rewatched it, because, like, they change endings and stuff like that, and, it's a long-ass show. But anyway, but I enjoyed that too. I was like, oh, this is a little different with the Screamo, but, like, I enjoy it, and I like they showed, like, a bunch of the characters, like, at the end, and the Hisoka, like, looking snake animation that they show. I was like, okay.
I thought he was a clown.
God.
But, yeah, I love the openings and endings, so that's a hard yay for me.
Alrighty. Hard yay on them openings. They seemed like overall pretty yay for the most part.
Yeah.
So who's leading us into final thoughts?
Me?
Chibi, take it away.
Okay, final thoughts for Hunter x Hunter. Overall, like, I think the plot would probably have me, like, watching episodes, but, like, I feel like it's something that I could get easily bored with, and that I probably could skip episodes from week to week, kind of like a Saturday morning cartoon, like what you guys were saying last week with One Piece. So I'm more of a meh on this. Like, I could probably have it on in the background, but I don't really think I would, like, just watch it continuously.
I'll keep mine.
Maybe?
I'll keep mine pretty short. I honestly have the same thought about this as I did with Fairy Tail last week, and that I would want to watch more, but it's such a big time commitment because it's like Fairy Tail. There's a shit ton of episodes, or not as much as Fairy Tail. There's only like 131, but still, that's still a lot of episodes. So basically, if I had a lot of time in the future to sit down and really binge the show, then I might do it because it's really highly rated. So yeah, I give it a yay for final thoughts, and would I continue watching it?
I think I'm kind of along those lines as well. I think I'm a yay for this. I think there was a couple spots that we were talking about earlier where I had some qualms with what the show was doing a little bit. But overall, it seems to be pretty fun and has a direction that it's going in that seems interesting. And yeah, I'd probably give this a few more episodes to watch. Yeah, yay. Gav,
Okay.
oh, I wonder what you're gonna say.
Well,
It's a mystery.
Well, you all know how I feel, is that I hate no.
Fuck this show.
I love Hunter x Hunter. And that, please, I beg of you, watch more Hunter x Hunter if we don't end up watching it for this, like, just please give it a chance because I'm begging you here. I'm on my knees. I'm on my knees. Please watch Hunter x Hunter.
We can't see that for sure. Pixar, it didn't happen.
Please watch Hunter x Hunter. It's so good, and it gets super emotional, and that's why I love it so much. And it's just chef kiss.
Chef kiss.
Yay, hard yay.
Well, after the begging, I don't think I could say nay. Gotta watch it now. But even so, I think I would probably give it more. I mean, I would probably continue watching it. I thought that it had enough to like make me interested in what's gonna happen next and just see where it goes. So I think, yeah, I'd continue watching. I'd give it a yay for that.
Okay, I think that's everyone.
Yeah, I
So,
think. Oh no, I
now
was just
comes
gonna
the-
say.
What?
Oh no, I was just gonna say. I'm like, I think after like these first two episodes, I think like we're starting to see like what everyone's tastes are for like the different kinds of things they like to see in their shows that they watch.
A little bit.
I
we
don't
only
know.
We only know for sure whenever we get down to this last bit of the show where we're gonna have to decide between everything, who wins what, who came out on top, and really, yeah. What's a yay and what's a nay? Let's take it around. Who's up next for speaking first?
Envy.
Envy. Plot. Who are you picking and why?
That's a tough one because Jujutsu Kaisen, like we were talking about, has the shonen formula, but yet does it in a very unique way, and it has a unique premise, and it subverts. I don't want to say subverts, but it kind of does the shonen tropes in a different way. But I think I liked the characters more in Hunter x Hunter.
Well, we'll get to characters.
Well, yeah, no, I'm just
We'll get
saying,
to characters.
but like characters go along more with the plot, so yeah, I guess for that reason, at least based on the first 3 episodes, I think Jujutsu Kaisen probably leaves more of an impact, so I guess I'll give the slight edge to Jujutsu Kaisen.
Okay. I think I'm up. I want to preface saying, like, I had a much harder time this week than last week
Yeah.
on deciding some stuff, because, like, these are both some pretty good shows, and I feel like anywhere where someone's winning, for the most part, it's by a slight margin. I think I'm leaning Jujutsu Kaisen for plot, because I think part of it is I feel like we're going where we're going a little bit quicker. Like, we got to the point real fast, and not to say that it's bad that Hunter x Hunter is taking a little bit more time and building up the importance of what they're doing. But at the same time, some of us were saying it was lagging a little bit in a couple spots, and pacing wasn't perfect. So I didn't have any complaints for where the story was taking me for Jujutsu Kaisen. So it gets down to a little bit nitpicky. But yeah, I think Jujutsu Kaisen for this. Gav?
Oh. I ain't gonna have to go with Hunter x Hunter. No surprise.
I'm surprised.
I mean, I do like Jujutsu Kaisen like a lot. Don't get me wrong.
We're
But
getting Sophie's choice this week.
but
You guys don't know what that is, do you?
No, I know what that
No.
reference is.
Okay.
no.
I know the reference. I haven't seen it, but I know what the reference is. So don't get too mad at me.
What were you saying, Gav?
That so like don't get me wrong, like I love Jujutsu Kaisen, but like Hunter x Hunter is just like has such a big place in my heart that it's just I gotta go with Hunter x Hunter. I gotta.
Got that passion.
Yeah, I think I'm almost that way in the opposite direction, where it's like I've been reading the manga and stuff with Jujutsu Kaisen for a while, and it's just like kind of special to me to like see the anime. So it's like I thought Hunter x Hunter was pretty strong. Like I thought the plot was a little bit slow, but it was like not bad at all. It was pretty good. But I mean, I just love Jujutsu Kaisen, and I thought the setup was good. Like, even taking apart, like, everything that I know and love about the manga, I think the first 3 episodes, the plot was really strong. So, I gotta go with Jujutsu Kaisen.
Chibi?
So my vote goes for Jujutsu Kaisen, mostly just because pacing was a bit more quick. Again, and it was just, it's got like a premise that I love to see in anime. Like it's got all those paranormal elements. So for me, it was just like really engaging and very interesting. So yeah, that's my vote.
Okay, so it looks like it's pretty clearly going. Jujutsu Kaisen gets the yay for plot, and I think am I leading off for characters now?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Again, I have to come down to nitpicking because both of these casts are good. Cast of characters are good, and I enjoyed both of them. Both in like who they were and their interactions and stuff, but there was Jujutsu Kaisen. I think I just had less to like. I had a few complaints about Gon. That's kind of the problem that I have to come down to. Is like, I had no complaints about anyone in Jujutsu Kaisen. I had like just some slight complaints in Hunter x Hunter, and it just kind of comes down to that. Yeah.
Sadness.
Sadness.
Sadness. I gotta
we know
go
what
with
you're
Hunter x
picking.
Hunter. Yeah,
Hunter, huh?
I just love all of the characters in Hunter x Hunter so much. I just think they're so great, and yeah, yep,
Yin?
All right. I'm so attached to the characters in Jujutsu Kaisen, and I really do love all the characters. And I think that even though they can be compared to some others in Shonen, I think they were done in a really interesting way that just gets better over time, even though that doesn't really matter for right now. I thought that Hunter x Hunter really surprised me with some of the characters. I thought some of them were really good, and I can really see a lot of potential for even characters like Gon, who I wasn't too sure about, getting a lot better and more interesting. Especially once he forms more relationships with other characters, like white-haired dude. And I'm excited to see him. I want to see where white-haired kid goes, but I don't know. I think my love for the Jujutsu Kaisen characters, and I think the way they interact with each other and the chemistry they have with each other, really, I'm gonna give it to Jujutsu Kaisen.
Chibi.
All right, so a lot of this is really based on just the fact that the characters that I got more attached to for these two shows, considering this is my first time watching both of them, I got way more attached to the characters in Jujutsu Kaisen. Mostly just because they're kind of sort of an interesting kind of cast that you would think would not be friends, but they make an unlikely team along with their teacher, and honestly, it works very well. They all work very well off of each other. So, yeah, I'm gonna give it to Jujutsu Kaisen for characters.
Okay, Envy.
I mean, obviously, Jujutsu Kaisen won the round, but if my vote was a tiebreaker, I would have actually gone with Hunter x Hunter simply because I liked all the main characters in Hunter x Hunter, and I liked 3 out of the 4 of Jujutsu Kaisen, so therefore Hunter x Hunter wins by default for me.
Okay, but like you said, yeah, it seems to lean in the direction of Jujutsu Kaisen for characters today. Still getting a little split here and there. Gav, I believe you're next for world building.
World building.
It's Jujutsu Kaisen, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
I know what you're picking.
I know too.
you don't even have to ask me anymore. Just like mark me down for Hunter x Hunter
You
for
should
all
still be
categories.
able to tell your thoughts and why.
Yes.
I mean, it's just gonna be the same answer for everything. But
Chef's kiss.
chef's kiss. Chef's kiss.
Chef's kiss. Hunter x Hunter.
Hunter x Hunter. Chef's kiss. No, I do really like the Jujutsu Kaisen world building too. I think it's really nice, and like I had said when I was talking about it earlier, is that I think it goes like it like definitely gives you like the lore that you need to like kind of understand at like a nice pace and stuff like that. But like also Hunter x Hunter is just like such an interesting like fucking life they're living, man. Like I don't know how else to describe it, but it's just like so interesting to me. And I mean it's one of my favorites, so like yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think just because Hunter x Hunter's was a little bit vague for me in the beginning with the world building, I think it is setting up something that could be interesting, but I didn't fully understand the world, and I think the lore and the way that it was presented in Jujutsu Kaisen, I just connected to a lot more and found more interesting or exciting right off the bat, so I think Jujutsu Kaisen.
So for world building for me, I'm gonna have to go with Jujutsu Kaisen on this one. And it's mostly just because we got a lot more of the world building in the first 3 episodes than we really did with Hunter x Hunter. Although I suppose with Hunter x Hunter you can kind of get it a little bit more through the background, even with like just visuals. But it's just the fact that there's still so much of the world that even with all the visuals and like the cues that like it's still not really clear, a lot of it, especially like the main concept of like why are you getting a hunting license and what is it for, and why is everybody like going and getting the same exam for a hunting license. Like I don't know, to me it doesn't make sense. Whereas Jujutsu Kaisen kind of had like a set of like rules and sort of like had it all based around like curses and cursed objects and like the negative emotions of human beings, and I think it was all just really cool, especially for like a concept for just like a world. So I'm just Jujutsu Kaisen for world building all the way.
Envy?
Honestly, this might be a first, but I can't pick. I like both worlds equally. I see pros and cons to both, and like I think the world of Jujutsu Kaisen is definitely more defined and, like you said, more easy to follow. But I also think personally, I'm more invested in the world of Hunter x Hunter, even if there are stuff that's more vague. So yeah, I don't know if we're allowed to do this, but I really can't pick. I'm tied.
Damn. Well, I guess we can just go to me, and if we need a tiebreaker, we'll come back to you. I almost just want to pick Hunter x Hunter now, just to have make a choice. Again, this is like, but here's the thing. This was a subject where I kind of had to knock Hunter x Hunter a little bit. I'm gonna go Jujutsu Kaisen because, like, again, like I kind of talked about it already. I felt like things were more clear with what was going on, even just implicitly. Like, why are they doing this? What is the importance of this thing? I have some issues with the way that they're, like, not describing what a hunter is. So, yeah, for world building, I got to give it to Jujutsu Kaisen. And, yeah, that's 3, so that takes it for world building. Who was up first for next?
So it's Ian's turn. Yeah.
Animation, Yin. What you picking?
I mean, it's so rough because I know that there's a huge time gap between the two. So it almost feels unfair. I think
I know.
in terms of yeah, it's like so but I think the character designs are really good for both. Like, I gotta give it to Hunter x Hunter that they have good character designs. They're very memorable. But Jujutsu Kaisen, like, the fights and just the way the animation flows is so appealing to me and just aesthetically pleasing. I mean, I love watching it. And I'd say in terms of both, you know, the character designs are good. Like, I think the character designs are really good in Jujutsu Kaisen as well. But even more so, I think the curses, the way that they look, are really cool. I mean, I have to give it to Jujutsu Kaisen because the animation is just stunning in that one. And I found the animation just pretty good in Hunter x Hunter, although, you know, there is the time gap to consider, so it is kind of unfair. But Jujutsu Kaisen just looks amazing to me, so Jujutsu Kaisen.
Chibe?
So, for this category, I will say that for 2011, Hunter x Hunter does look pretty good. Character designs are pretty interesting. I will say, though, that I loved the animation for Jujutsu Kaisen, and just, like, all of the, and I'm gonna call them, like, curse/creature designs. Those are all pretty cool. Just all of, like, the background visuals are also, like, really interesting. It looks really pretty. And again, like Yin said, there is a bit of a caveat with the year. But yeah, I'll just go with Jujutsu Kaisen, even though it's a little unfair. But that's mostly just, like, visually, like, it's my preference. Envy?
Pretty much every word that Yin said in their explanation, I agree with. So, Jujutsu Kaisen.
Good. I've been gushing about Mappa this whole freaking episode.
Now
so
you just look like a hypocrite.
You look like quite a hypocrite if I wasn't gonna choose Jujutsu Kaisen. Unfortunately, like, again, Hunter x Hunter looks good. It does. And for 2011, that's a good looking show. But it's right now it's unfortunate because it's like you compare anything to what, like, Ufotable does or something.
Yeah.
People are gonna pick Ufotable because it's just they look gorgeous, and Mappa's looking fucking gorgeous right now.
Yeah.
So I'm going Jujutsu Kaisen. Gav?
Well, you see, like, even if, like, Hunter x Hunter wasn't one of my favorites, I think I would still pick Hunter x Hunter. To be honest, just because, like, it has a style more that I think I can get behind than Jujutsu Kaisen. Like, and I'm not saying that I didn't like Jujutsu Kaisen's animation, because I did, but, like, I'm not as crazy about Mappa stuff as much as, like, everyone else is. Like, I think it's nice looking, but I don't know, like, maybe it's just, like, I like the cuter, like, kind of style that Hunter x Hunter has, and, like, with the characters all looking, like, very different in their own ways. Like, I just really enjoyed that, so I'm Hunter x Hunter, not that it matters, but
Yeah, that didn't really matter at that point. Sorry.
it's okay.
That might matter going into some other ones. Sound and dubbing. Who's up?
Me.
Is it Chibi? Yeah.
No, this is a separate category from opening and ED, right?
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, for sound and dubbing, I will say with the dubbing for both of these, I had a couple nitpicks that I had. Again, with Hunter x Hunter, it was the fact that, like, I felt everyone's voices could have been a bit deeper in our main cast, but I don't know, that's just, like, a voice, face, like, click in my brain thing. It things weren't matching up, so that was that. Again, the same thing happened in, Jujutsu Kaisen, but only with two of our main cast. And even at that, like, I got used to those voices after 3 episodes, whereas with Hunter x Hunter, I will say that I did not get used to them, and I was still just kind of like twitching a little bit. For sound, for Hunter x Hunter, the score, I will say it sounded like classic shonen. I don't really think it's very memorable for me. And again, this is probably just a taste thing for me. Score for Jujutsu Kaisen just was like, ah. So I'm gonna have to give it to Jujutsu Kaisen on this one.
Okay. Envy?
This is going to sound so contradictory what I said earlier about the dub for Hunter x Hunter, but when it comes to like the sound and score, I think Jujutsu Kaisen has better sound. But in all honesty, I thought the dub for Hunter x Hunter was more memorable, and to me, if you're more memorable, well, I shouldn't say that 'cause sometimes it can be memorably bad, but like overall, I thought this dub. I had my problems with Erica Mendez and Erica Harlacher, but I still liked their performances. So honestly, it may seem like a wash, but I'm going to give a slight edge to Hunter x Hunter on this one.
Okay. To me, what part of it came down to, because I think, again, they're both good dubs. So again, it just comes down to me, like, what are my complaints? Where are these are both good. What are these tiny complaints that I kind of have here and there? I don't have a whole lot to complain about in either, so the only thing I can really go with is I remembered some of the lines from Jujutsu Kaisen better. Like, there were ones like I thought, like we all mentioned Nicholas. That's funny. But I remember like 4 or 5 times in Jujutsu Kaisen where I was like just we actually had to pause the video a few times because we were laughing and we didn't want to miss anything else. I got to go with Jujutsu Kaisen on that. Gav?
Well,
Chef's kiss?
Chef's kiss.
I just really enjoy the voices in Hunter x Hunter. I just think that they're good. I don't know, like, what else I'm supposed to say when it's so obvious that, like, I'm just gonna, go Hunter x Hunter for every round, but, like...
Chef's kiss. That's all you need to say.
But, like, Chef's kiss, they just did a great job. I thought all of their voices were, like, very fitting and memorable, and that's what's important to me, so, yeah.
This one's really tough for me because I was annoyed by some of the voices, at least at first, with Jujutsu Kaisen. I think part of it was because I watched the Japanese first, so I didn't like some of the voices, at least not immediately, though they grew on me after an episode or two, and there were some really funny parts in the dialogue that I was cracking up and I thought were really good, that maybe wouldn't have translated well in the Japanese. Or it wouldn't have felt as funny to me. I thought Hunter x Hunter, the dub was good in the sense that, yeah, I think all the actors really fit their characters. I don't really have any huge complaints, I think mostly because I never saw the sub. but I also don't remember, like, I didn't remember any of the funny lines or anything, kind of like what Al said. So I'm, like, really split on, I almost feel like Envy in that other round where I just don't have an opinion. They were, like, equal to me. But I also know it would be a tie otherwise, wouldn't it?
You are unfortunately the tiebreaker.
Oh my god.
Right now.
Yeah.
I really...
It's a tough position, but this is why I kept wanting to rotate people, because we shouldn't have one person constantly designated as a tiebreaker.
I really don't have a big opinion on it either way.
Okay, so dubbing,
Damn it.
you can't really pick. What about sound?
Oh, sound.
Yeah.
I don't really remember the score very well in either of them. I kind of remember, like, some of the little music in the background of Hunter x Hunter a little bit better. I'm trying to, like, think of what the score in Jujutsu Kaisen was like, but the sounds and everything were really good. Like, I liked the curses, like that creepy one in that abandoned building or whatever it was. I thought the sound was really good there. So it's like, I think for sound, Jujutsu Kaisen was better, but maybe the score, Hunter x Hunter was better.
Dude, I tried to give you an out.
I'm in such a bind, man. Oh my god. Maybe just thinking about, like, which dub I would consider, like, I would watch the dub maybe over the sub, or I would choose to watch the dub. I'd say, like, maybe Jujutsu Kaisen, just because I feel like if I was gonna continue Hunter x Hunter, I would watch the sub. But with Jujutsu Kaisen, I would feel like maybe I'll miss a joke or something. So I guess I'll go with Jujutsu Kaisen, but it's really, I don't know. I don't actually have an opinion.
So it's a very, very,
Are you going with Jujutsu
it's a very
Kaisen
small
or
win for Jujutsu Kaisen.
I guess I'll go with Jujutsu
Yeah, that sounds
Kaisen.
like by the narrowest
But
margin.
it's like a non-answer, really, just because I have to answer.
Okay, but yeah, that is an answer, though. So Jujutsu Kaisen does take sound and dubbing, but again, by a sliver. Of,
I think it's mostly because of the sound, like the actual, like, curse sounds and stuff, and the fighting noises.
Who's up next for opening and ending?
I think I am.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Jujutsu Kaisen wins for Lost in Paradise alone. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay. We'll wait on that video talking about your top 20. I'm up. Okay, like, I to some degree in this category am kind of discounting visuals a little bit, because I feel like we talked about that in art and animation.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually going to go with Hunter x Hunter on this, because their opening, I found myself kind of humming to myself a little bit, and I did not do that with Jujutsu Kaisen, weirdly enough. As good as their ending is, I think, yeah, the opening to Hunter x Hunter was the better one. Still not as good as Dororo, but, you know, what can be? Gav?
Just
Chef's
starts.
kiss.
Just no. Even if I didn't like Hunter x Hunter, it's just Departure. It's just such a fucking good opening. That I would just have to give it to Hunter x Hunter. Like, and it's especially like, because I do like the ending to Jujutsu Kaisen, but like the beginning, like the opening was just like okay to me. Like, it was a good song, but like I didn't think it slapped or anything. But like, I really enjoy both the opening and ending for Hunter x Hunter. So yeah, I gotta give it to Hunter x Hunter.
So for me, I'm not that crazy about the opening of Jujutsu Kaisen, and I'm not that crazy about the ending of Hunter x Hunter. If we're discounting the visuals, because I do like the visuals in the opening of Jujutsu Kaisen, but not thinking about that, I think they're both kind of equal in terms of, like, Jujutsu Kaisen's opening and Hunter x Hunter's ending. But then the ending of Jujutsu Kaisen is amazing, and the opening of Hunter x Hunter is amazing. So
This
it's
would be
like,
great to watch these shows like back to back,
it's like,
because it's just like
rough.
a straight line of like good song into
Yeah,
show.
but I think what also makes Jujutsu Kaisen's ending great is the visuals. I think without the visuals, it wouldn't be as great of a song as it is. But then Hunter x Hunter, I don't think the visuals even matter. It's just an amazing song to me. So I think I'm going to give it to Hunter x Hunter just because I love the opening so much.
Chibi?
Okay, so as far as like the songs are concerned, since we're discounting visuals here, I'm probably gonna have to go with Jujutsu Kaisen, only really because like out of the 4 songs that we have here, only one of them is one that I really like from Hunter x Hunter, and I like both of the songs from Jujutsu Kaisen, so that's me.
I mean, hey, that's cool, but
Hunter x Hunter wins.
actually swings the other way today. Yeah, Hunter x Hunter gets on the board.
No, I know.
Not a blowout today.
Yeah, I know.
That was a good opening.
That was a good opening. But I'm going to lead us into our final thoughts. Again, I think we all kind of expressed that we would probably want to continue watching both of these series. The issue is only one person can go into the next round. And, like, overall, I gotta say, like, you know, we finished watching Hunter x Hunter, and I was like, I could watch more of this. But when we finished watching Jujutsu Kaisen, I was like, I need to watch more of this. And, yeah, it took a lot out of me, but, like, I stopped myself. But I really wanted to keep going. Yeah. So for continue watch, it's Jujutsu Kaisen for me.
I wonder what Gav's gonna say.
It's Dororo.
Yeah, it's Dororo.
The dark horse of the tournament. Who I should mention, for the amount that we're talking about it's not in the tournament.
Yeah, it's not a shonen.
But yeah, I gotta go with Hunter x Hunter.
So Hunter x Hunter, Jujutsu Kaisen, Yin, where are you in?
I do feel like I would watch more Hunter x Hunter, and I was kind of like, okay, I'd watch more of this after I watched it. I kind of felt like Al a little bit in that sense, where I was like, all right, I would continue it, but I did not feel like that strongly about it, so I was kind of on the same page as him. But with Jujutsu Kaisen, I just love Jujutsu Kaisen. I mean, it's just one of my favorite things right now. So it's like hard for me to say that I wouldn't continue watching because I absolutely will. Yeah, I just love Jujutsu Kaisen. So Jujutsu Kaisen.
Chibe?
Okay, so for me, it really all comes down to like engagement for whether or not I will continue a series. As I said, like Hunter x Hunter is something that I'd probably like leave on in the background, and I probably wouldn't like watch it week to week, because if it is as Gav has said earlier, that like every episode is like its own contained thing in an arc, then I'm probably gonna be like, this is fine, I'll just watch it whenever, and it'll probably all still make sense. But Jujutsu Kaisen, I was very much like, oh god, I want to keep watching, this is so good, where have I been? Living under a rock for the past few months, like just not watching this.
You're gonna feel that way when you watch Dororo. That's why Dororo's not in here.
I would just win everything.
Oh, but yeah, so Jujutsu Kaisen, all the way.
I'm coming from a unique position where technically I've seen at least, what's been animated so far, the first 13 episodes, and I spoke to Yin off screen on why I had some problems with it later on and why I came back to it, but obviously it doesn't matter for this tournament. I would say Hunter x Hunter, like Fairy Tail, I was invested enough where I want to watch it, whereas Jujutsu Kaisen, I have some problems with it later on where I feel like I wouldn't be as invested if not for some of the visual stuff. So I might give the edge to Hunter x Hunter on this one.
Okay, but in that regard, it still seems like 3-2 at that point for Jujutsu Kaisen. So Jujutsu Kaisen takes the final thoughts, and I mean, if you hadn't been able to predict it already, they take the day, the week, whatever we want to call it. They're taking the round. Again, Hunter x Hunter, very good show.
It was a
very
strong contender.
Strong, yeah. It's just, again, I think Jujutsu Kaisen just edged out just a little bit in each category.
I don't know if it was like completely like fair matchup for like the two. Just
it was a weird matchup.
To be fair, I did have to roll a d20 to like figure out.
Yeah,
what
it's random.
So it's not like I'm not picking these things.
Yeah, just because of like how
do.
different the shows are.
Yeah.
Like I feel like Hunter x Hunter maybe like up against like One Piece or something might have been like.
Yeah, I would say that would have been more fair.
It would have made more sense.
I probably would have. Yeah, I could see like a couple different matchups, going a couple different ways depending on what they initially go up against.
I would say
Jujutsu Kaisen with like Demon Slayer.
Yeah,
or
that's what I was thinking. As far as
they're both kind of modern and have like that sort of.
Well, here's the thing. Ultimately, it's a tournament. Eventually, whoever is the strongest shows are gonna like fight each other no matter what. So
yeah,
if at later point Hunter x Hunter ended up hitting Jujutsu Kaisen, maybe it would have been different. I don't know. It's really hard to say. But
it was an odd
one.
Though.
It's odd, but again, they were both very. I think we said a bunch of times they were very close on a lot of this. So, but ultimately, we got to move forward. Whenever we do get to the second round, which will not be next week, but when we do get to the second round of the quarterfinals, One Piece is gonna go up against Jujutsu Kaisen. We're gonna be watching episodes 4 through 6. Well, I'm gonna throw this out there. You know, Envy said it was like around episode 4 that he stopped caring.
Yeah, that's true.
So I mean, it could be.
I think that might
not be as clear cut as we move in.
Yeah.
But what matters for now is what's going to happen next week. And next week we got another matchup, 2 more new shows that. This is another one of those weeks where it's a first for me. We'll be watching the first 3 episodes of both Blue Exorcist and My Hero Academia.
Oh boy.
So
okay, I'm just gonna say this right now. To basically to what Hunter x Hunter is to Gav, My Hero is to me. So next week is gonna be very
yeah.
I love both of these shows. My Hero Academia and Blue Exorcist.
So Fairy Tail is basically like, for me, BNHA is another case of that where I watched a little bit of it and then did not continue. So
what?
Oh,
really?
Dear. So we're getting all of our biases out of the way in this episode. Right?
I'm just saying that
I know
right
nothing.
now, only because I'm just like, I don't remember what episode I made it to BNHA, so I think
interesting.
I think I only maybe watched the first episode. Maybe I'll watch a little more because of this. Who knows?
I mean, you're gonna have to watch a little bit more.
No,
so.
I'm aware. I don't remember if I gave it just a 1 episode shot or if I gave it a fair 3 shot, like I usually try to with my shows. So.
Yeah. Well, that's what we got going into next week. But in the meantime, Gav, I know this was your big show. Do you want to gush for a bit? More than you already have.
Like, basically, what about it later on without spoilers?
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you like about it?
You can do spoilers, unless, I mean, are we definitely... I don't know. I might watch this. I don't know. That's your call.
Oh, boy. I mean, I would like you to watch it.
Would you?
That is clear.
Here's my thing. Can you just explain the hunting license?
Okay, yes.
Please?
Okay.
Because that
would
be the caveat for if I want to actually get back to watching it.
It's a bit of a plot hole for me.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the Hunter Association, right?
Okay.
It's a non-governmental organization responsible for the testing and licensing of hunters. They're basically just elite members of society. and they get these licenses that basically allow them to do anything they fucking want to do.
Who gives them authority to do that, though?
The Hunter organization.
Wait,
Who gives the Hunter organization
is there
authority?
a government?
It's a
They
non-government
keep mentioning-
organization.
Yeah, they
That's
keep
what I'm
mentioning
saying.
countries, though.
who is the
there are
government?
governments,
Oh.
there are countries, there might be monarchy. I don't know, but like, who says? They just sound like a rogue organization. They sound like Al Qaeda.
Wait. Maybe it's like an underground, like kind of like the Illuminati or something. I don't know how to describe it, but
secret
you know,
I feel like
society.
everybody and their mother has heard of the Hunters
like
in
they're
this
like
world.
spies or so, but they're like
Spies
not
work for
government
people.
attached. They're like a separate society thing. It sounds like.
So they're elites? Like, elites
Yeah.
how?
Like, it gives them free access to most of, like, to a bunch of different shit.
Why?
That just sounds like something a lot of people would just take advantage of.
Yeah.
I was like, I feel like a lot of people are going to, because like it's like you keep mentioning
Like,
this clown villain,
You
but
have
he's
to
allowed
be,
to apply.
You have to be very, very good to pass the Hunter exam. Like, it's very, very hard.
I get
like-
you have to be skilled and all that sort of stuff, but it just seems like this might be a terrible idea.
So is
like,
it supposed to be like slightly questionable or insidious later on, or is it like a good organization?
Good
Because
question.
it sounds fairly insidious.
like
I'm
Yeah.
seriously, like,
curious.
I feel like this is one of those things where, like, did you guys ever see the Kingsman movies?
Yeah.
Okay, like,
Yeah,
they
it's like
seem
that.
good,
Yeah.
they seem cool, but when you really think about it, they are just a private military organization with zero oversight whatsoever, who just go and do whatever they want, regardless of what anyone else says.
But maybe that's kind of what the Hunters are like.
That sounds terrible. That sounds like a terrible, terrible idea, and no one should be behind it.
But I mean, people would be if it existed, right? Like lots of people.
I
would
feel
be
like
behind
every
it.
country would go to war with them. Simply because they are beholden to no one and just do whatever they want.
I actually think
But
maybe it does make
the-
more sense to me that it's not governmental, actually.
I get
Yes,
that, but there
yeah.
needs to be something. Like, the UN does not belong to any one government, but they are still beholden to a number of different things.
There's, like, a review board and, like,
But is that all internal?
You're really serious about this.
I'm having a Who Watches the Watchmen moment.
Well, I don't know, because, like, the thing is, the Hunters can be, like, hired by the government to help the government. So...
Okay, great, but again, what I don't I
What's
I'm
to
just
stop
like
them
what
from
are
just doing whatever the hell they want?
yeah. If they're allowed to go wherever they want, basically just kill whatever they feel like. I mean, who's to stop? Who stops? Who watches the Watchmen? Who watches the Watchmen?
Maybe that's the real theme of Hunter x Hunter. I don't actually know.
I feel like that's just a terrible idea.
Does
And I don't know if I
have a
just
theme
don't
at
know
one
enough or
point?
something, or you're holding
It's-
things back because of
well,
spoilers,
listen.
but it just sounds terrible.
There is an election task force who decides who is the chairman.
Okay.
Like,
Okay.
the chairman decides the review board, and then the election task force decides the chairman, and the task force is led by a chief executive.
Okay. This all sounds just like a country, a government.
This sounds kind of bureaucratic.
But like they're just allowed you're basically saying there is a government organization that exists beyond any other country's government organization that is allowed to go in and do whatever it wants whenever it wants, regardless of what anyone says.
Well,
It just sounds like a terrorist
I think
organization.
they have their own checks and balances inside the organization.
So do terrorist organizations. There's a hierarchy and a leadership. It sounds like a terrorist organization.
Well, maybe it's like a unified sort of quote unquote, even though it's not the government of each country, it's like a unified kind of pseudo government. I don't know. But it kind of sounds like it could make sense.
I don't
Like
know,
within
man.
the world, I
I don't
guess I
know.
could see it making sense.
It sounds bad to me. Like, on paper, this just sounds bad.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's not in the show. I'm sure it's not. But it sounds fucking dangerous.
I'll give it a shot, yeah.
Thank you.
But anyway,
I'm just making you want to see this more.
Yeah,
by
I
saying
need
this.
I need to do it because you're like
This
so
sounds
mad about it.
so bad. I'm not mad. I'm
So
just
I
like,
have a-
wow,
I
that
have a
sounds like a terrible
question.
idea.
Gav.
Yeah,
about
what's
this.
up?
Does Gon ever question any of this?
That's what
at
I'm
all?
wondering.
That's what matters to me.
Yeah, I mean, he, like, what do you mean questions it?
Like, does he ever, like, really stop to, like, think about the Hunter organization and, like, what they're doing and, like, trying to understand the reasons why his dad left to join this organization that sounds very questionable? Like, does he ever really sit back and think about what they're doing?
I mean, Gon's pretty impulsive. That's like a flaw.
I feel
of
like this
his.
organization could encourage that. Whatever your impulses are, just go with it. You can do whatever you want.
There are no repercussions.
Yeah.
And
I guess the larger question is, does anyone question it?
I feel like it doesn't because this has clearly been around for a very long time.
Also, hunters are, like, considered, like, a big thing around here, so everyone seems to be very okay with it? I'm confused.
Or is everyone living in a constant state of fear?
Oh my God.
Like, everyone's like, yeah, the hunters are great. Don't say anything bad about the hunters. They'll kill you. And why wouldn't they? This seems just like a terrible idea.
I think maybe you need to watch more to decide.
I'm going way too
You're
deep
probably
from
jumping
this
the shark right
explanation.
now.
I probably am. I'm jumping the gun probably
Yeah.
a lot, but I don't. Yeah, I'm just gonna stop.
It's best not
But-
to assume.
We kind of hijacked a little bit. Gav, is there any other things you want to
I'm
gush
so
about
sorry.
the show?
Sorry.
I'm so
I
sorry.
really wanted to know because, like, knowing things is kind of what's going to make me want to keep going if I kind of understand things a little bit more about how they work, and that just made me more confused. Sorry. Go ahead, Gush. I'm sorry. I'll shut up.
No, it's okay. No, I just really want you guys to watch it. I don't really.
I'm
know.
gonna have to now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to now just to answer more the slew of questions you just opened up to me.
So. Yeah.
All right. Any final things to say about these shows or what's coming up?
Not about these shows, but I did want to bring up one interesting thing. January 7th, 2021 marked the 10-year anniversary of Madoka Magica's first episode, our channel's founding, so I thought that was interesting.
I didn't show up January 2011. I was here way before that. I just didn't do anything.
Well, I was saying, like, the channel was started because of the Madoka Bridge.
Channel
so-
was started in 2009 because YouTube had an age restriction. That's why this channel started. Content came later. No, that is a nice anniversary.
Yeah, that's cool.
We should watch that at some point. But not next week, because next week we're watching Blue Exorcist and My Hero Academia. Come watch. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, thanks for watching, and if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe and ring the bell icon for notifications. If you enjoyed this video, give us a like, and if you haven't already, check out some of our previous episodes, our daily gaming videos, or our parody series Madoka Magically Abridged. See you next time!